friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Xoxo, this is Xoxo Tarot, and in today's pick a deck card crystal reading, we are going to be looking at how do others see you. So this is really this is a reading for you, but it's also a reading for me because I've really just needed the chance to like flow with a deck, just one deck. Well, we're going to use a second deck at the very end, but I just wanted the opportunity to use one deck, flow with it, just chill, just not like have a million different things going on. I do love having a million different things going on, but it's kind of tiring and it's a lot sometimes. So I am happy to just be doing this today. So we are going to be looking at tons of different perspectives. So we're going to actually start by looking at how strangers or passerbys see you. So, you know, someone that's just passing you on the street, or, you know, someone people watching if you come into their line of vision, things like that. Then we are going to pull two cards looking at how the people in your orbit see you. So these are like acquaintances, peers, co-workers, maybe fellow parent friends, things like that. People that you aren't inherently close to, but you are in proximity to. Then we are going to look at how your friends see you, past and present. And this is going to be a more generalized thing. So unless you feel like you can pick out one specific friend, you might be able to do that, which is super cool. Then we're going to look at romantic interests / partners. So if you have a partner or partners already, you can keep them in this group. But if you are already married and consider your partner part of family, you can consider this row to be past partners or just people that are attracted or interested in you in general. And then we are going to finish off by looking at how your biological family or chosen family, or those closest to you or those once closest to you, how they see you. So, you know, for those of you that don't really want to know about your bio family, please feel free to pick chosen family. If you already have a family of your own, you can pick that for there, and then choose the romantic interest partners to be like past partners, or like how those past partners see you now. Listen to your own intuition when it comes to how these things manifest. You might get visions of random people or feel like a specific message is coming from a specific person. Take that stuff and feel free to share it if you want, because I think that's one of the really cool aspects of general readings, is how we share energy. I just think it's cool. And then we're going to finish off by technically looking at how those in spirit or those in heaven see you, but it's also going to double as a guidance card for you. So it's going to be less just about how they see you and more of a message for you. So we have 4 different tarot decks to choose from today, and the deck you choose is kind of important because we're going to be using it for most of it. So starting with group number 1, we are going to be using the Ember and Aura Tarot. And I have this rose quartz flame carving on top. And then for group number 2, we are going to be using the Dali Tarot, and I have this piece of Libyan desert glass on top. Then for group number 3, we are going to be using the Kei Love Tarot, and I have this Lapis Lazuli Ankh on top. And then finally for group number 4, we are going to be using the Cosmobeings Tarot, and I have this Scolecite pyramid on top. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. It is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. It's quite possible we could be channeling different types of people, or you might be seeing a different perspective. One thing I do want to note though is that the way that people perceive you versus how you perceive yourself might be very different. So you might feel like some of the interpretations are like off base, and it's probably because they're coming from other people's perceptions of you, not how they really are, or how you really are. So pay attention to that as well, because you might be able to pick up on how you might be misunderstood or get context for certain like behaviors from other people that maybe you didn't quite understand before. I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting reading. Intro squad though, what's your favorite emoji and why? And if you can't choose, pick like 2 or 3. I think mine's probably pretty obvious. It's the pink heart with the little lines around it. I used to be frustrated that there was no regular pink heart, but now that we do have a regular pink heart, I never use her. I do use the heart with the little lines because I like it, because I feel like it's like love, like going out into the world. But I also really like the sparkles emoji. I really like that the unicorn emoji has like rainbow on it. I really love that emoji. I love the moons with the weird faces. Like I'm all down for faces on moons. I think that they are just great. I don't know though. I think I really love the emoji with the dark under eye circles, and I really love the emoji with the big eyes that are like kind of pleading, because I think is cute, and it adds a softness that my Aries ass does kind of need sometimes. Yeah, I like those. Let me know what you like. Also, how you been? I know I've been gone for a minute, so feel free to add just how you've been. I've been in the trenches, but I'm good. I'm fine. Like it's just life in, you know? So trenches are good. We dig deep, and I don't have trench foot, so let's go. Like no complaints here. We're here and ready to go. So go ahead, pause the video if you need to, decide which file you feel most drawn to. Like I said, absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one. You'll figure it out. So once you picked your pile or pals, I will see you in your reading. Thank you for being here. Hi there, pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Rose, Quartz, Flame, and the Ember and Aura Tarot, this is going to be your reading on the how others see you. I'm sorry, I got so distracted. Like as soon as I started your reading, there was just so much noise. Do you get catcalled a lot? Or like do people on the street like yell at you a lot? Because I just feel like, or wherever you live, there must be a lot of noise, because like, ooh, it's loud. Duh. My attention deficit ass does not, I have a deficit of an ability to focus right now, but I will find it. Okay, so I am taking reversals for this reading. Don't panic, reversals are not bad. If you want a full breakdown of the reading in the intro, there is one. I also go into explanations about how you can choose to see each of the different categories. So one thing I thought of for the first question, if you don't want to do strangers and passerbys, you could do people that view you online on social media if you wanted to. I realize that could count, because I do acknowledge the introverts that do not like to leave their home. You are valid. I see you, and I'm one of you. Okay, so while I'm shuffling, just set the intention that the messages most necessary come through, and that the truest messages meant for you are what you find. And if you end up enjoying this reading, thanks for leaving me a little like. It's super helpful. All right, so we're going to start by looking at how strangers / passerbys / random people who just come across you for a fleeting moment, how do they see you? So how do strangers, passerbys, and randos see group number 1, please? Okay, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. You just seem very unavailable. Oh, maybe the reason why you have so much noise going on is because you put in your headphones and you just don't want to hear. There's a bit, I wouldn't say it's like a mysterious vibe. I would say you just give off a vibe like you're a busy person with a lot to do and you don't have time for other people's nonsense. You just kind of seem like, I wanted to say a man with a plan, but I mean, you could be anyone with a plan, any person with a plan. It just seems like whenever you're walking down the street, you have the demeanor of like knowing where you're going, which is especially impressive if you find yourself directionally challenged. You just seem to walk with like a confidence and a purpose that makes other people feel like you're unapproachable. Maybe that's why so many people like call out to you, because it's almost like they want a piece of your focus. Like they want a piece of your attention because you seem like an important person. You carry yourself like an important person. I think there's also just this there is a bit of an unapproachable vibe to you, which is really interesting considering it seems like maybe there are some people that are bothered by the fact that you seem to be unapproachable. And so they want to some of it could very well be harassment. They might want to harass you, or they might want to just like get your attention in some sort of way. And I think honestly, the types of people that do that are people that see you as unattainable or unavailable, and like people that wish that they could be like on your level in some way. But I also noticed that there are other people that are similar to you that I don't think they know or realize that they're similar to you, but they feel very comfortable in your presence or like around you, because there's just this very clear like you're in your own world, you're doing your own thing, you're not focused on them. And so I think people just feel kind of safe and comfortable around you because they know you're not judging them. Like they know that you're in your own world doing your own thing. So let's go ahead and see what your coworkers, peers, acquaintances, essentially people in your orbit that you're not super close to, but that you do know, how they see you. So this could be like parent, friends, fellow classmates, things like that, people in a cohort. So how do the people in group 1's orbit, how do they see group 2? Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, and what else? How do the people, 5 of Pentacles in reverse? I have to laugh because you really have no time for people's nonsense, and I love to see it. I really love to see it, actually. I think that people in your orbit see you as somebody that has no time for the drama and is not here for theirs. Like, I don't know if there are people in your orbit that take up a lot of emotional energy, but there is power in your validation, and it seems like you don't really give it to people unless they've earned it. I would say that people find you hard to get in contact with, which is such a mood, and I should also note, y'all, if you do reach out and try to contact me, I apologize if I don't get back to you, but I am like, me and my emails, I gotta stay out of my inbox or I'll drown. So if I miss an email and it's super urgent, just keep replying to it till I see it. But I do feel like there are people that see you as just hard to get to know better and hard to approach. There might be people in your orbit that know about like painful past experiences you've had, and so that does like inform how they treat you, especially if you've gone through something like in a community setting where like a lot of the community knew about it. It seems like 100% honest, like if these people were gossiping about you, like the gossip would be just whatever happened to you, and it wouldn't be judgmental. But for some of you, if you do live in like a place where not a whole lot goes on, or I guess the people in your orbit don't have a lot going on, it's kind of almost like they might like take your drama, or it's not drama, it's like it's tragic things or hard things or just normal human suffering that we all go through. They might use that and like talk about that, but I think they do that as a way to feel better. People see you as like hard to reach, hard to connect to, and there's this like, I think people want your attention until they get it, because once they get your attention, then I think there's this like real insecurity of being seen, because you just have this like penetrating gaze is what I just heard. It's almost like you see through people instead of like, you know, looking at them. And I guess there's just something about your energy that really makes people feel insecure. And some people might say that they find you to be impatient, which honestly, based on how like this energy is unfolding, like I could totally see how that makes sense. But I also think part of that impatience just comes down to like you have an intolerance to like stupid bureaucratic bullshit and like just stupid crossing T's and dotting I's that are just irrelevant and unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like stupid things that shouldn't really matter and are like, okay, this doesn't, you are very like goal oriented, let's get it done. And there are some people that like are process oriented around you that feel like they can't keep up with you, or feel like they're feel like they look dumb around you, or like unworthy around you because you're just faster than them. I do see there's like some comparison there. And I think in general there's a desire to want to know and understand you better, but it just seems like you have a pretty strong wall around you and you're kind of just closed off to people outside around you. You're definitely not the type of person to like wear your emotions on your sleeve, which is really interesting considering we have like rose quartz here. But I have an inkling you are willing to wear your emotions on your sleeve to the right types of people, but they gotta earn that. But what I do see here is that you have a tendency to make people feel not good enough, but that's really not your fault. Like you're just being yourself and living at the level of standards that you expect of yourself. And also I think you just have a sense of, I'm just trying to get things done so that I can be done with my day and just like relax, like leave me alone, which like I totally get and understand. So we're gonna go ahead and look at friends now and see how friends see you. I just want to keep shuffling these a little bit because I do think like you just seem to be a busy person with a lot going on, and it seems like it's hard for, like, I think there are people in your orbit that want to connect to you but then are also afraid to connect to you because it's like admiring a fire from afar. It's like, yeah, being close to the fire can keep you warm, but if you're too close, you can get burned. And I think there are people that wish they had a fire like yours. Okay, so when it comes to friends, these could be past or present friends. How do friends of group one, how do they see group one, please? Whoa, okay. I'm literally hearing the song True Friend by Hannah Montana, so that's iconic. Yeah. Here's the sweetness. So we did have the 8 of Wands in reverse, and I don't know if this star is upright or reverse or how it was supposed to come out, but I'm actually gonna lay it on its side because I think that's just more fitting anyway. Your friends love and adore you. I definitely think your inner child comes out with your friends, and it's a lot easier for you to be like, this is where you wear your emotions on your sleeve. And I think, and the reality is too, is that I think the emotions that you do show around your friends are positive and happy ones. And I really do love to see that because I think that's just how your friends make you feel. And I think your friends see you as somebody who, you don't change. Like, your friends see you as someone who is consistently like, you're consistent. Like the way you show up with your friends is consistent. I think you're very supportive. I also think your friends could see you as maybe a little bit too apologetic. Oh, do you overcompensate in your friendships for like how you might be perceived by people around you? Like you might like take it personally when someone's like, you know, like, what's the right word? When someone's, kind of projecting their own like insecurities onto you, or like projecting the insecurity of feeling rejected by you. Like, I wonder if you might start to like doubt yourself and doubt your intentions. Because I think honestly, I feel like sometimes you're like, I don't know how people are like, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just being myself. Like people say my dad is intimidating, and it's the funniest thing in the world to me because like he's a Taurus moon and is just like literally just a big old sweetheart. But you know, when I think about people that might deal with him in a different setting, like a business setting, I could see how they would think that because he's kind of just quiet and introverted. So like maybe you're similar where maybe, I don't think that, like, I feel like if you're introverted, that has nothing to do with how you socialize. I think you're fine when it comes to socializing, and in fact, you love socializing with the right people to a degree. I do think, like, in a lot of ways, you are a true introvert in the sense that you do need to, like, go within and be with yourself in order to, like, recharge. But I feel like at the same time, though, a lot of people assume that, like, being introverted means you're socially awkward. You're not socially awkward. But I do think you are very succinct and to the point, and I don't think you're very flowery with your language. And so I do think that other people, especially if they're used to flowery language or platitudes or things like that, can find you to be a little bit more intense or intimidating because you're not going above and beyond to satiate their insecurity that they might not be fully accepted or seen by you. And you know what? They may not be, and that's okay. Because I do think your friends also see you as someone who's really burnt out, but yet somehow never stops going. It's like, you're kind of like an Energizer bunny that doesn't know when to stop. And it's kind of like, wow, this is actually impressive, but also super concerning. And I think the thing is when you're in especially tense places where you are like going, like burning the candle at both ends and going, you know, just really, really hard, I think you lose that playful, more free-spirited side of yourself when you are a little bit more relaxed. And I think your friends can really tell when you are in like a place where you're too stressed, because when you can no longer just like be playful and silly, they know that you're in a place of like, oh, okay, things are really intense right now. I feel like your friends also see you as your own worst enemy and incredibly self-destructive towards yourself and your gifts, actually. There's something really special that your friends see about you, and I think your friends see you as a very healing presence, a very empowering presence, and also a unique soul. I think your friends really love like just the unique combination of character traits and elements that you are. Like, I think they really just appreciate that about you. And I think they find it really sad that you don't always see those things about yourself. But I also think at the same time, you're that person that always gives them hope, that reminds them that things can get better. And I do think there's a bit of an irony here where it's like you bring healing to everyone but yourself sometimes. And I think there's nothing more fulfilling and satisfying than when your friends do get to see you shining your light, and like when they do get to see you feeling confident and good within yourself, because I think that you just kind of have a tendency to recoil from your own light sometimes, because you're just like, I wonder if you do have a wound around being perceived, actually, because it does seem like you're closed off from others in a way where it's like, just don't perceive me, please, because like I'm tired of being perceived, and the way that I am perceived by the general public is like, it could be like, it could feel violent. Like, it's just like jarring, or like, bro, nobody asked for your opinion on this. Like, I think that you're just someone who might, and I don't know why you would do this other than, I don't know like why like your existence would do this other than, I just feel like there are some people, and this is more the outer circle thing, not your friends, like the people outside of your friendship circle. I feel like there are a lot of people who just say really out-of-pocket stuff to you, either because you look tough and they feel like you can handle it, so they're like trying to like shake you and see if it'll bother you, but also I think that people say out-of-pocket stuff to you because they're trying to convince themselves of that, and for whatever reason, your presence seems to create a fallacy in what they're trying to convince themselves of. Really interesting. But I do think your friends just see you as a huge light in their life, and I feel like their life is not as great when you're in it. Like when you do disappear, when you do like, you know, quote, go offline. Well, I mean, if a lot of your friends are at a distance, like they could just really miss you. They could also see you as hard to communicate with right now, or just hard to get in touch with. But when they do hear from you, it's like very enthusiastic. So I think that like they understand like the inconsistencies, But with this Page of Cups as well, I think that your friends just feel really safe around you and know that like they can be their own, they can be themselves around you, and that they can be silly. Also, if you ever play mermaids with your friends, I think that one of whoever you've played mermaids with is definitely in the chat for this section, and definitely saying that they wish that you recognized like the light and beauty within you, because if you did, you would be unstoppable. And the ironic thing is you really already are unstoppable, because clearly nobody on the street can stop you, no matter how much they want to. Okay, but let's go ahead and see how romantic interests or partners see you. You can ask about your past partner, or you can, if you consider your partner part of your family and want to do just like the people closest to you and save that towards the end, you can do past partners. So how does group one's current or past partners see them? Okay, so we have, we have the World. We have the King of Cups. We have the Eight of Cups, and I probably need to censor this. So we have the Eight of Cups, and finally we have the Five of Cups. Okay, so you're really the type of partner where people are like, I'm not crying because it's over, I'm smiling because it happened. I think that if there are any exes here coming through, I feel like they have the utmost respect for you. And I also think that if they see and understand like why things didn't work out, and they consider their time with you something not only that they treasure, but also that they consider to be a very happy time in their life. Like, and that's consistent. No matter how many past partners you do have, they do all see you as a saving grace, and as a like, there is something about your energy and your essence that's almost all consuming. And I think past partners would say like they can't help but just be allured and enamored by you. And also your emotional depth is crazy. And I knew that there had to be something more to this, because I think one thing that people around you will never understand is how sensitive you truly are. And sensitivity isn't a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. It's a hard thing. But I think that you don't recognize the fact that you are sensitive, and you don't recognize that other people have the emotional intelligence of a potato. And so they are incapable of recognizing there's more to the story than what they're seeing on the surface, because they assume that what is on the surface is all there is, and that's their problem. That being said though, if you do currently have a partner, or if you are currently seeing someone or talking to someone, I do think that they see you as like their whole world, just point blank. They find the relationship to be very fulfilling, and they also find you to be someone who is whole on their own. They love that you have your own life and your own world, and they could also see you as like, you could be from a different country or be more worldly or really like to travel. I think they could really love those factors about you. But I think one thing as well that romantic partners seem to really love about you is just the purity in your intentions, and the purity in how you treat them, and also your emotional maturity. Like the fact that we have this Age of Cups here, this is the King of Cups. So you not only have a deep level of, your emotions not only run very deep, but you have a level of emotional maturity that I think is really uncommon, at least in your past partner's experiences, or even in your current partner's experience, if you have one. I think that you also have the ability to help romantic interests or a romantic partner heal from past pain that they didn't realize they were still holding on to, and truly move forward. Like, you have the type of presence and influence that helps people work through emotional challenges and close out cycles they no longer need to be thinking about or playing a part in. And I don't think that it's anything that you inherently do. And I do have to like stress that that's not necessarily, it's not meant to be your role in all relationships, but there is just a healing element to your aura, and like the healing element to being around you, where you awaken people to what they're holding on to that's toxic in their lives. You awaken people to what they didn't realize was holding them back, and you also awaken them to what they didn't realize was still keeping them fractured instead of seeing themselves as whole. I think that your partner see you as very emotionally mature. I think they see you as someone who deserves everything and more. I don't think any of your past partners have anything bad to say about you, even if they were, you know, very toxic or very harmful to you. I think that even these people have a level of self-awareness to recognize that whatever may have happened and unfolded in that relationship, like, you weren't the problem, or you weren't the reason why things fell apart. And I think if anything, even though there are people that you don't talk to, or maybe don't even remember because the time that you spent with them was so little, they remember you and the things that you say and the things that you've taught them, and the things that you've inspired within them. It's actually really special, and you've made a powerful impact on a lot of people that you would not even realize. And I think that your past partner, like, I think that past partners, and if you do have a partner currently, your current partner, like, or if you have multiple partners, you just turn their frown upside down. Like, you can help them. They could feel like they will never truly get over something. They will never stop being angry. And then you come around and they're like, actually, I feel fine. Like, it's easy to get over things in life when you're around, because there's just so much joy and love and fulfillment when they're with you, that it helps them zoom out and remember what isn't important and what's not worth holding on to. So that's really awesome. And I would also say that, like, your past and current partners would also say that, like, you're not a dramatic or chaotic person. Like, if you're dramatic, it's dramatic in your own world and it's not, like, serious. Like, I think that any chaos that you have is presents itself more internally than externally. And also, I feel like there's something where people assume that you're more put together than you really are, because, and I don't mean that as a read, because, like, it's an easy assumption for people to make. You are put together, even though you don't perceive yourself that way. And in some ways you are correct, which is why I'm saying, like, other people perceive you as more put together than you really are. But part of why that is because part of how people see you isn't about how you act and behave when you're with them. It's just about the energy that you bring and how that interacts with their own. So, like, there's just something about your energy that's very healing, especially to people that you're in romantic connection with, where it's not anything that you necessarily say or do. There's just something that's in your energy that's very soothing and very healing, and that is very enlightening to people, where they become aware of things they weren't before just by being given the gift of your mirror to show them what they need to see. But finishing off with the deepest part of the pyramid, we are going to look at how, and this is up to you what you choose. So your biological family, your chosen family, or those closest to you. So it could be a family of yours that you've created. It could be a mixture of all of them. I'm just going to take the interpretations as I see them and go from there. Yeah, just take it how it resonates. So for group number ones, the people closest to group number one's true family, how do they see group one? Okay, we have Temperance in reverse. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Okay. We have the Knight of Wands. I believe that's the Knight of Wands. Actually, might be the Queen of Wands. I might need to check. We have the King of Swords in reverse. And finally, one more. Okay, we have, I think this is the Queen of Swords. Yeah, okay, so Diviner must be Queen. Is there like a Knight anywhere? Okay, yeah, Knight is Sun. So Diviner is Queen. So I feel like those closest to you, or those that were once closest to you, I do feel like they are seeing you more just where you're at now rather than like in general. I feel like those closest to you just have faith in you in a way that I don't think you have faith for yourself right now. With the Ace of Wands in reverse and with Temperance in reverse, it seems like you've lost your balance or lost your flow. You could very well be burnt out or just kind of like in a place right now of frustration. And maybe even just like anger, and you don't even really know why. I feel like those closest to you see you as like stepping into a new phase of personhood where you're starting to own the things that you used to hide. Like, and I think what you used to hide was just how you truly felt about things, or like where you were at, or your fears. I think that you were so good at hiding like just how you were feeling or what was happening with you. Are all the cards in the frame? Hell yeah. That they felt like, and they do feel like, this is just group one's process. Like, I feel like those closest to you see you struggling right now, and either not admitting it to yourself, or also they just kind of recognize that you may be at a place of like pretty intense imbalance right now, or just really struggling to find your footing. But none of those family members are worried, either because this is a part of a larger cycle that you're already that you've already experienced before, and it's just part of the process. And so these people know this about you, and so they're just like, okay, well, this is where group one's at, they'll be fine. But for others, I feel like, and this is especially with biological family, I feel like your biological family could feel like you're the best of both of your parents, you're the best of both of your families. And I think that one generational like curse that your family sees that you have taken on definitely has to do with like negative self-talk, or assuming the worst, like a nihilism or a cynicism that comes from like disappointment and comes from pain that was never resolved. They feel like you're the key to breaking through that. And I also think as well, you're redefining what personhood looks like for yourself in a way where you're less bound to gender norms. You know, so like you're just expressing the full range of your humanity more. And I think your family is happy to see that. I think your family also though sees how maybe some of your past painful experiences are still creating illusions that make it hard for you to break out of certain cycles. I feel called to roll this dice. Whatever number is on there is a significant number for you. Number 5. Okay, so number 5 is a significant number for you, and so if you see 555 anywhere, take that as a sign that things are going to change. And like 5 is a number of change, and I really do think that like your family has full faith in you that whatever you're going through, you're going to figure it out. Because I think like your family in a lot of ways, I feel like wants to save you from yourself and save you from your problems. But I think that the wise ones that are closest to you know and understand that this is your process. This is how you work. And some of them still don't get that yet. And so I do think that those individuals are worried. More so, they're more worried than I think anyone else. But that's also because these individuals fail at pattern recognition. They are too busy looking at linear like A plus B equals C sort of things, where they're like, okay, well, if A is pile 1 struggling and B is pile 1 struggling and they're not fine, they don't know what the solution is, then C means they're failing and something is bad. And that's not the case. Like, I think that there are other people in your corner that are like, no, actually, this is like group 1's been here before. Don't you remember XYZ? Like, and look at what happened from that. Like, look at what they did, look at what they accomplished. Like, this is just the same thing again. And I think that actually you're really awakening your family, whether it's chosen or just those closest to you, to the reality that consistency is kind of a myth. Like, and not only that, but you don't have to stay bound to who you thought you needed to be in order to feel safe. And so I feel like you're undergoing, like on a real level, like outside of how people see you, on a real level, I feel like you're undergoing a very powerful alchemical process right now, where you're going to be owning like powerful forces within you a lot more authentically in the future. And the reason why you're going to be able to do that is because you are learning how to integrate those parts of yourself, those fiery, those intense, those passionate, those intellectual, and like even like emotionally detached aspects of yourself. You're actually going to finally own them instead of judging them. I think your family, or those closest to you, they see you as not only as someone really intelligent, but someone who's really good at helping people see things more clearly. And they also see you as someone, like, when you do believe in yourself, you are unstoppable. I also think, though, that your family might feel like they don't see you enough and they wish they could see you more. But they also feel like, I feel like there's also this understanding, though, that you might be under a lot of stress or burnout or having a hard time. So I don't think there's too much, I don't really think there's anger there. There might just be frustration at being unable to connect with you the way that they want to right now. But I do feel like ultimately they recognize that it's not their job to protect you, and that whatever process you are undergoing, you are safe in it, no matter how hard it is, to just sit there and let you go through it. Because I think that if they could, your family would prefer to just save you from it and keep you safe. But I think that because there really is no way for them to do that, that's really like the only like thing that has really allowed them to give you the freedom to, beyond claiming it for yourself, work things out for yourself and figure them out for yourself. I think that your family is very impressed by your ability to resolve and overcome challenges that seem really intense and heavy to them. I think they're just also really excited to see your light again when you reconnect to it in a way where you remember who you are and remember your value, your talent, and your gifts. So let's go ahead and finish this reading off by getting a guidance card from those in spirit that love you, and see what they're seeing from the spirit realms and what they want you to know about it. So those that love my group ones unconditionally in spirit, what guidance do you have for my group ones? What do they need to know or see at this time? Well, number one, we have you are love, and I think that is true. I mean, you guys picked rose quartz, which is the embodiment of unconditional love, and I think that's ironic. Like, I think that you are somebody that is so loving and giving, but you really are still learning what love looks like when it's actually just given to yourself. Dearest you, even though life seems now to be moving full steam ahead, it's a time to rest. Allow ideas to flow through you and take root in your heart before they reach your mind. Honor this process by becoming empty to allow for inspiration and the magic of dreaming. So that could be what you're undergoing right now, is like an emptying process. You might feel lazy or unproductive, but we know better. Just as sleep is a way to recharge before renewal, so are you in a time for dreaming. In this powerful process of co-creation, your soul merges with spirit in a profound way so you can receive your music directly from source and play your part in the symphony of life. You are being invited to bear witness to the great creation and tune in to what others can't hear. We have so many dreams to share with you in the sacred and in the invisible. Don't worry, we will wake you when it's time to return with a new dream. No need to set an alarm clock. Loving you always. And yeah, so you really don't have anything to worry about. And so if you feel like you're flopping or that you should be doing better or differently, just know that you're actually the less you do, the more you're doing, because you're supposed to be doing nothing. Because someone with powerful dreams like yours needs time to recharge before you ground them. So group number one, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. So definitely let me know what you guys thought, and if this type of format, if you enjoy it, whether you do or you don't. My decision to do it again will be purely my own. But that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background, at least for the first 30 seconds, because that is the simplest and easiest way to show support, appreciation for my channel, and help keep this going without having to take sponsorships or things like that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates, subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can check out my merch, you can check out my social media, you can check out my other videos, ones with extended. Sign up for my email list. All those on my email list get email list privileges. If I ever open up personal readings, only my email list will know about it. Also, we get fun stuff over there, freebies from time to time, things like that. Yeah, you can share me with a friend, send me love, you can leave me a tip. My Cashapp is palehag, my PayPal is my email. You can hype this video, leave me a little super thanks, things like that. Or you can just send me good vibes, because I'm sending you some right back. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Libyan Desert Glass and the Dali Tarot, this is going to be your reading on how do others see you. So I highly recommend going to the intro to look at the breakdown of the reading if you do have questions, especially about like the types of how you can make this reading work for you. But while I'm shuffling, if you just want to go ahead and focus your energy on the deck and set the intention that the cards that are meant to come through for you do, feel free to do that. Oh, that's really satisfying. It's really satisfying. Let's do that one more time. Selfishly, indulgently, one more. And if you don't leave me a like for that beautiful shuffle, I don't know what to tell you. Pretty disappointing. I worked hard to be a good shuffler for you. Anyway, we're gonna start by looking at how strangers, passerbys, or people that like come across you on social media, if that makes more sense for you, how they see you. So how do strangers, randos, passerbys, interweb people, how do they see group 2, please? Okay, we have wands, but I gotta count them. Okay, we got 3, 6. Okay, we got the 8 of wands here. I feel like people see you as someone that is very productive, energetic, and upbeat. Actually, you're the type of person that I think a lot of like, even if you're in the service industry yourself, which I guess probably anyone, service workers especially just really appreciate you in general. You're quick, you're concise, you're to the point, you're polite, you don't waste time, you don't lollygag, you're very conscientious of the people around you, and you're also someone that people just see as like very attractive. You could also walk really fast, so people might notice like you look like you're in a hurry a lot, or you seem really busy, like you just seem like you have a lot going on. And it's interesting because in the first group, there was this like feeling of busyness, but the interesting difference between this group and the previous group is that there's an availability still with your busyness. Like you look like you're in a hurry, but I feel like there's just this kind of upbeat, energetic vibe to you. Like I'm seeing kind of SpongeBob being like, I'm ready. Like, and the ironic thing is that you may internally be Squidward, but I don't think you realize how even when you are not in like a happy place in life, or when you are pretty low energy, your energy is to others is still pretty high vibe and energetic. I also think too, you just have a bold presence. I think people notice you. If you have some sort of online presence, and that's how a lot of people see you, I think people understand why you have the online presence that you do. It seems like you're really well spoken, but also you're somebody that's quick to act. I don't know if you have been I don't know if you have intervened publicly in some sort of like injustice happening, but I see specifically strangers that remember you because you intervened in a situation that they were too cowardly to. And I think there's a lot of respect around that. Like, you are someone who is responsive, not reactive, but you're also brave and courageous, and you're very, like, to someone who, is like very melancholy, they might find your energy irritating, which is actually ironic because you could be just as melancholy and they wouldn't realize that, like, your outward demeanor and persona are like, I think honestly some of it is just habit, like you're used to being upbeat, but I also think being out in the world and around other people does kind of help you become more upbeat without realizing it, because I feel like you have a contrast to see, like, I feel like just having someone to bounce off of your own energy, I feel like that's really helpful. I don't know if some of you are Sagittarius risings, but that was like the rising sign that was coming through very strongly, so you could take that as extra confirmation. But I do think people see you as someone that's going somewhere, someone with a good head on their shoulders, and someone that people see you and they say, no, there's someone that's living their life. They're alive. Like, you know, a lot of people exist, but to strangers, it seems like you're actually living. So, oh, and also if you wear really bright colors and things like that, you have just like a very attractive and very, you're very eye-catching. Like, I think that how you style yourself could be very eye-catching, or there's just something about your energy that's very sparkly, and so it makes people notice you. Honestly, you could even be low-key and trying to hide yourself, and that's when you actually either run into most of the people, like, that's when you run into tons of people, you know, or that's when you're really, like, stopped and asked things. I think there's just something, people see you walking down the street and they assume you're confident. They assume you are confident in yourself. So if you're faking it, guess what? You're making it. And I love that for you. Let's see what the people in your orbit, how they see you though. So these are like peers, co-workers, people in your orbit that you're not necessarily close to, but that you see on a regular basis. So how do the people in group 2's orbit see group 2, please? Okay, we have the Hanged Man. And how else? Okay, we got to count again, y'all. There's also some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 8. All right. Yeehaw. Okay, gotta find a little Shensha crystal. Perfect. Okay, so we have the 8 of Pentacles reversed and the Hanged Man upright. You really, you change people's perspectives for sure. However, I can see that in your environment, and this goes especially for those of you that are parents and have like your kids have friends whose parents like you're friendly with. If any of those parents are very like anal or just type A about things, I feel like that person specifically is coming through, because I feel like they're like bothered by you in some way where, and actually, and let me broaden this because it's not just parents with children. That was just a really strong example I was getting. Anyone that you work with, any fellow students, anyone that in your orbit that's super uptight and anal about things and just kind of grumpy, hyper perfectionist sort of vibes, they are kind of triggered by you. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like okay, maybe it's not that extreme, like maybe for some it's just discomfort, but I think that a lot of people in your orbit and in the person that I'm describing's orbit compared themselves to that person, feeling like, why am I not more productive? And I actually think that you are used as an example of why things are not that serious and why people need to chill out. Like, people see you as someone with a different perspective. You might live your life in a really unique way, or you just might be a very type B, go with the flow kind of person, especially when it does come to work and stuff like that. Or, you know, if you're a parent, like, You might have zero interest in PTA and that crap. I could tell you if I was a parent, you need help setting up a dance? I don't know. I'm probably busy. Like, I don't really want to do that stuff. I know, I understand it's a labor of love, but I think for you, you're kind of someone that marches to the beat of your own drum, and I think the people around you see that. I think some people around you feel like you don't work as hard as they do, and that might really upset them if they feel like you're more successful than them. But one thing that they don't realize is that you just don't live your life the way they do. And I think a lot of people are actually inspired about this with you. Like, I feel like you've given people around you room and freedom to relax. Like for example, if you're a student and you're in a group with someone that's really uptight, like I was talking about, and a couple of other people, I feel like your influence on that group could like completely make the experience of that group way better, because people are reminded what's really important. Because I feel like this type A kind of personality can be a little bit totalitarian and kind of like bossy and demanding, and I feel like you just kind of have this like, I'm gonna do my own thing, and I don't care if you have a sense of urgency about this, because I don't have a sense of urgency about this, and I know it's gonna get it done. It's like, I feel like there are people that feel almost offended that you seem like you have your life figured out, and even though you don't, it's just that you're not outwardly expressing any stress or tension about what you're dealing with in your reality. And I think part of the reason why it seems like you might be more relaxed or carefree is probably because you've got a lot going on internally, and the amount of energy that you devote to that probably takes a lot of time and energy. You know, it honestly is probably an inward manifestation of similar stressors that like the really intense type A type people are dealing with. But I feel like you are a breath of fresh air in those environments, because for the people in your orbit, because you make people think differently. You remind people when it's not that serious, and you help people let go of things they can't control instead of getting angry or worked up over things that they can't. I also think that you're somebody who works smart, not hard. And I think for people who work hard, they might find that frustrating because they don't know how to work smart. But I think that there's a very like, oh, wow. Like, I feel like a lot of people in your orbit first judge you for the way you do things, and then they see or learn why you do them, and they're like, wow, not only am I a jerk for judging them, but actually they've kind of got this life thing figured out in a way that I don't. Maybe I need to start paying attention instead of condemning. So you're definitely a game changer in that environment. So I want to see what your friends think of you, or how they see you. And these could be past friends, present friends, doesn't matter. And if you're like, I don't have any friends, that's not true, because you clicked on this video and I literally started the video with hi friends. So you at least have one, okay? But I know you have more than that. Anyway, group number 2, how do their friends see group 2? Okay, we have death in reverse. Group number... All right, what is this? We have, I believe this is is that the 7? Yeah, that's the 7. It's the 7 of Swords in reverse, and that's a naked person that I just held up for everyone to see. I love how smart and self-aware I am. Okay, let's put that there. Oh, that's not covering up the nipple. Okay, there we go. There we go. 7 of Swords in reverse. And finally, one more. How do group 2's friends see them? We have, oh, interesting. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay. So, I do think there's actually a specific friend coming through that you're not really friends with anymore. Not because there was an actual falling out, but because there was just a slow death of interacting with one another. And I feel like this friend feels really bad about like whatever communication breakdown or whatever friendship breakdown happened. But they're afraid to say I'm sorry, or maybe they don't have the energy or the time to even invest in opening things back up, but it's something that weighs on them. The interesting thing is that I think that people that are no longer friends with you recognize why. Because I feel like you are someone who, you have like the vibe of someone who lets people do what they want to do. And by that, I mean, if a friend is going to betray you, okay, let them. If a friend is going to ghost you, okay, let them. If a friend isn't going to show up for you the way that you're showing up for them, okay, let them. I'm just going to note it. Like, I feel like your friends do see you as someone who, they definitely don't always hear from you. And honestly, a lot of times it's kind of like you disappeared from the face of the earth, like friends that you have right now. But when they do hear from you, it's always a delight. I do think your friends in general just kind of worry about you because you do just seem to be really good at hiding whenever you're struggling. And I think you probably are even able to hide it from yourself in a way where you don't even realize like that you might be going through it a little bit. But I think also with the friends currently in your life, you've helped friends that are currently in your life heal from shitty friendships, where they've realized that friendships don't end or friendships don't turn sour when the other person involved is like genuinely your friend. I think that you've taught people what real friendships look like, and also shown people that in real friendships, like conflict is okay, and like apologies are like can bring you closer. Like it's like, you know, an issue or a problem doesn't mean that everyone has to like, you know, just scatter to the wind and never talk to each other anymore. Like I think your friends see you as someone who's really transparent, and also someone who doesn't hide from their own experiences, but will hide. It's like you don't hide from the truth, but you do hide from the people you care about when the truth is not something you want them to see. Like and what I mean by the truth is like the truth of how you're feeling. Like if you're doing really poorly, like physically or mentally or spiritually or emotionally, it does seem like you kind of disappear in the sense of like, I don't want to be a burden on my friends. I don't want to be around them unless I can add to their like life and their experience. But I think your friends kind of, and they kind of know that you're unavailable in those states, but I think they do wish they could be with you and when you're struggling more often. Especially because I feel like you've been there for friends specifically when they've really been going through it and struggling and undergoing like a hard, messy time. And I don't think that you realize like you don't give them the same opportunity, even though you love to be there for them and sit with them through any like suffering or struggles or like hard experiences they're having. Like you're not trying to fix them, you sit through there with them, like you're just there for them. And I think that your friends recognize that there's a part of you that's seemingly incapable of allowing them to give you the same thing, and I think they wish they could. I think also your friends just in general wish they could give you more affection and more praise without you shunning it or shutting it down. But I also think your friends see you as someone very honest and someone a bit emotionally repressed. Definitely somebody who is really good at using humor to cope with their pain sometimes. Okay, so now we're gonna look at romantic interests / partners. If you are married, if you are in a long-term relationship, or if you have a partner or partners and you consider them family, you can save them for the very end, the next topic. But you can put a romantic interest here of a present one. You could do past romantic partners. You could do both. It's really up to you. So I kind of put for this like romantic interests and partners. So yeah, let's just give this one more good shuffle and then we'll take a little look-see. Okay, so group number 2, how do past and current romantic interests / partners partner or partners, you know, shout out to my polyamorous peeps. How do they see group 2? Wow, no titties on the Empress. Now that is interesting. Okay, so we have the Empress, which we love to see. How do we have the King of Swords in reverse? How do they see? Okay, we have the Star, and that is going to need to be covered up. We have the Star. And finally, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. I'm not going to lie, a lot of romantic interests that I think you wouldn't even realize were romantically interested in you, but they just never approached or communicated with you because they assumed you were out of their league. I gotta be honest there. You also are someone who's kind of hard to pin down. Like, you're not a relationship to have if someone wants to be comfortable, safe, and have things stay the same. You're the type of person to have a relationship with if you want to grow, evolve, expand, and create, and be on a path of spiritual empowerment and expansion. I feel like romantic interests and partners see you as the ideal type of partner. Like, I gotta be honest, I think that every single like romantic interest that you have also shown interest in has and does see you as a soulmate, even if you guys will never talk to each other again, or even if it's just not meant to happen in this lifetime. I do feel like with the King of Swords in reverse and the Page of Pentacles in reverse, though, I think that there are people there, and I would say this is definitely past people. They recognize it. Listen, if people screwed you over in the past, they recognize what they lost. And that's only become more clear over time, because I feel like you're the type of person, you're a great person to bring home to family. I think that you are someone that makes anyone look better by association. I think they also, romantic interests and partners see you as incredibly unique and incredibly, like your presence is very healing, and especially with the Empress here as well. It's like you have both cosmic and earthly creative and healing energies that are really wonderful to be around for a romantic partner. I also think romantic partners see you as like an ideal like parent or long-term partner or you know, spouse. And I think that past partners recognize there's something about your energy, and I think that this is also something that you do as well. Your energy just kind of erodes illusions around intentions. So like I feel like people that really wanted to bask in your light and be like and be in your life because of what you bring them and what you get them, I feel like those people fall out of your life really fast because they can't like vibrationally like match your frequency. They can't match your frequency, bruh. But I also think though, there's a don't mistake your kindness for weakness sort of thing, because you will let a bitch know if they step out of line or if they say something. Like, you can be ruthless with your words, and I think that there are some past exes that really regret, like there are things that you've said to them that reverberate in their brain that are their fault because they instigated things, like arguments and things like that. And when you retaliated, there's like this ruthless retaliation that's not rooted in spite, it's rooted in truth and authenticity. And that's what makes your retorts so cutting. I also think that past and even current partners can recognize that you may be a bit of a space cadet and really struggle with earthly things like the material dimension, which like get it, which is a bit interesting because you do have this natural connection to earth. You just may still be figuring out how to embody it and go into it more deeply. Like, I think that there's just something very inspiring about being around you. It's very nourishing, and there's a sense of wholeness you bring to the club, the vibe, the party, the connection that really shows others where they're fragmented. And if they're not willing or ready to look at that yet, they best get out, because if they try to stick around, it's not going to be pretty for them. Because realistically, like, no matter how much they embed themselves into your life, the truth of what your light will reveal, they're not going to be able to be, past romantic partners certainly are never going to be able to be on their game playing behaviors around you, because there is no game with you, and that's how you win. Like, I also think you restore faith in the type of romantic partner that I think a lot of people want but don't know is possible. I think you're loyal, you have integrity. You're also someone who is willing to see, you're a ride or die type of partner. And I think that if you do have a partner in your life, they see that and they feel like, you know, a lot of their hope for the future is just tied into the fact that if they're lucky enough to have you in it, they know it's going to be wonderful. And I think that there are some people that recognize now that your presence in their life was an opportunity for them to grow with you, and they weren't ready for that. And I think that's really hard for them. But also, I think as well, one thing that you may not see is that energetically and embodiment-wise, you seem to have a very, like, just powerful spirit and powerful connection to your own spirit. And that level of, like, soul energy, like, it's no wonder that every single person that's ever interacted with you sees you as a soulmate, because when you are a mate to someone, you connect on a soul level. Like, the maths. And I think that you are someone that awakens people to the reality of what loving, loyal relationship and connection can look like if they're willing to step into the same thing. And if they're not, it's gonna fall apart quickly. And I think you've seen that, and I think other people have seen that. Like, there's this very big, like, there's almost like caution tape around you energetically that says, like, do not cross this barrier unless you're ready to see what you've been avoiding. Do not cross this barrier unless, like if you're not ready to take the red pill, take the blue pill. That's on a matrix level, not on a dumb podcast bro level. Yeah, I don't understand how podcast bros think they're outside of the matrix when I'm like, you're literally like, okay, okay, all right, sure. Rant for another time, right? Okay. So this, before we get into guidance, this last group that we're going to look at is either, it can be your biological family, your chosen family, a mixture of both. But essentially, we're looking at those that have been closest to you in your life, either in the past or in the present. And maybe that closeness wasn't relationally, maybe it was closeness in proximity. But I'm going to let you kind of decide what that is for you. And it could be a combination of both. So how does group 2's closest loved ones, bio or chosen family, how do they see group 2? Okay, we have the 5 of Wands. I really like this 5 of Wands. What else? We have Justice. Let me get another stone. Perfect. How else do they see group 2, please? We have the 6 of Swords. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. And finally, we have, is this the 9 or 10 of Cups? I believe this is the 10 of Cups in reverse. The 6 of Cups is on the back of the deck, and that does feel significant. So I do feel like for a lot of you, especially related to biological family, I do think that you've made it very clear to people in your biological family the ways in which you were mistreated growing up. And I think it's a hard truth for them to bear, especially because I think that they view things very differently. They see things very differently. And there's a part of them that still doesn't quite understand. And I think that there is also a part of you as well that has been very unfairly criticized for causing problems and, quote, rocking the boat. But realistically, the things that you were, like, you're a fighter. And the thing is that you fight injustice. And I think that in your, like, biological family especially, you experienced a lot of injustice. Like, even if they loved you very much and they were acting in the best they were acting in good intentions and had the best of intentions, I don't think they realized the destructive nature of their behavior. And I do think that they understand a lot of what they may have unfairly judged within you as dysfunction now as, I don't think they fully get it. I think they do get that you are different, your experience is different, and you were doing the best you could with the knowledge you had. I think that your family does also kind of see you as someone that they do tread a bit lightly around, because they know that you will say what you think and stand up for what you think is right. And if you think a family member is wrong, you'll let them know. Like, you're not one to back down. And I also think your family sees you as someone who is a bit competitive and a bit, like, especially when it comes to family arguments, like, you're a bit relentless. And I love that. Can I just say that? I love that. I love to see that. Because I think in a lot of ways, like, you are the one that fights for truth and justice, when I think the rest of your family would rather just move on and have a happy illusion about how things were. And the thing is that they're not necessarily wrong to see things the way that they do. I mean, it's their experience, but I do think they are wrong to want to invalidate yours by just brushing over it and moving on, because it's, like, so much bigger than that. I think that it's just very painful for them to hear the truth about what they felt, about things that they felt and saw differently. And I think it's very hard too, because, like, they might have idealized images of how they were, and to have that bubble burst, I don't think they know how to have compassion for themselves around that yet. And so it's very, like, painful for them to hear, which, I mean, yeah, imagine how painful it was for Group 2 to experience Group 2's family. But I think more than anything, your family wants harmony and peace and fairness and balance here. But I don't think they quite see yet how their role in all of, how they play a role in things. I think that there's just kind of this expectation of, like, oh, well, you're older now, like, yes, we made mistakes, like, we appreciate you forgiving us. I mean, if you do, but when are we going to move on? And I think that the reason why they want to move on is not because they want to belittle your own experience, but because they're not ready to confront the role that they played in your wounding. Because they definitely don't ever want to be that reason why you were wounded. Because they weren't trying to, but they certainly did. And I think for them, it's like they don't know how to sit with that truth and feel okay and feel like they can move forward. But Group 3, group 3, group 2. I kept wanting to call you group 3, so maybe you'll have to check that one out. But if I can be honest, just something that I'm observing here, it seems like a lot of how your family sees you really has to do with how they see themselves as a result of what you reveal. And I would say if you're struggling with your healing process when it comes to your family, one thing I really want you to give yourself grace for and remind yourself is that even if your family does have really good intentions or they are trying their best, there is a part of your family that is a bit inherently selfish when it comes to their relationship with you, because their ego is still trying to protect them from truths I think that they've heard from you and that they understand, but they're just too painful to actually sit in and process. I feel like your family is waiting for you to see something, and you're waiting for your family to see something. And I think what your family is trying to get you to see is a dysfunctional pattern of burying and pretending like things are okay, so that we don't have to face and unearth all the messy chaos that might be underneath our family dynamics. And you are like, no, I'm not going to play that game. But in your unwillingness to play that game, they see you as stirring up problems or stirring up the past, or like, why can't you just move on? Like, why do you have to create like discord and chaos? And it's like, you're not. That's what they don't get. They think that you are, it's like you're calling out dysfunctional patterns and cycles and speaking truths, and they're like, no, stop, bad. And you're like, no, yeah, no, stop, bad. Like, and what I think that where the disconnect lies is that I don't think the rest of your family has undergone such deep and intense transformative spiritual experiences in their life, at least yet, where they've really gone in and looked at their own wounding and how their patterning, however their patterning may be dysfunctional. You do not bury the truths that your family does. And so when you dig them up, they're like, what are you doing? Stop digging this stuff up. But it's like, stop burying this stuff. It's like, this is not supposed to go in the ground. Like, so if you're struggling to heal from certain things, or if you find yourself like, I feel healed until I'm around my family or something like that, just understand that like, you're not crazy and you're not a difficult person. You're a person dealing with difficult circumstances as a result of your family's fear of dealing with difficult emotions and difficult truths that they never learned how to process. And so what you're really doing is establishing balance in a very imbalanced and disordered like family system that and dynamic that you're just unwilling to be a part of. And so what seems like harmony in your family, you're gonna seem like disharmony because you're not playing the game. But I mean, the fact that we have the 6 of Cups on the back of the deck though, like I feel like your family does love you so much. They just like, but they also just really fear the truths that you bring out. There's almost just this like, there's this power, which is, I bet I would be willing to bet you feel very powerless in your family, and you feel like it doesn't matter what you say, they just don't really listen. And I think that your family feels afraid of your power and of the truths that they can't hide from around you. And also, I think that your family sees you as very intelligent in ways that they are not. Like, they feel like you are oceans beyond them in terms of, like, intellectual capacity and, like, awareness. And I actually think sometimes when you're trying to communicate things, they don't understand what you're saying and they're too embarrassed to ask what you mean, or they think they understand what you mean and they don't. But I do think that they see you as someone who, if you're being chill and balanced, then they know we can all have a good day. But I think that your family, I think one big thing that your family has done that I do want to acknowledge, and that I feel like they see that they have been unfair to you, and they see that a lot of what you, like a lot of your behavior and a lot of like your history with them is just a response of you demanding justice for yourself because they weren't going to give it to you. And I do think that your family sees you as rational. I don't think they understand fully your experience or the internal conflicts that you deal with, or even just like what's going on internally. I don't think they always see that. But I do think there is a vulnerability here. Like you show up to the family gathering naked when everyone else is under layers and layers, like in suits of armor. It's like the level of vulnerability and transparency that you show up with is inherently confronting to a family very guarded. But I do feel like there's a message in here for you, though, that you don't need them to see the depth of the harm they created in order for your pain to be valid, and in order for your truth to be valid, and in order for you to find your healing. And in fact, if them fully understanding what you went through is necessary for you to feel like you've healed from things, you're gonna feel stuck in a wounded place, because actually I think your family will fully get it more and more. I think some people will get it more than others, but I think you're going to come to your own processes and understandings where you're able to get to honor your own truth whilst also recognizing the coexistence of both love and the inability to show that love in the ways that you need, or in the ways that you needed in the past, and realizing, like, for yourself just what that means for you and how you're going to handle that and handle connection with your family. Also, your family sees you as the most worldly. So maybe if you traveled or you moved, like, your family sees you, number one, as very very intelligent and very worldly. And I feel like your family misses you a lot. Like they want to hear from you more often. I also think your family sees that you struggle with negative thoughts, and it makes them really sad. But I think your family is actually very proud of you. Like, they very, very proudly claim you. And they would always, like, it actually makes me want to cry. Like, they're so proud of you. And I think there's actually, like, a lot of pain in your family around how you were treated. Fuck, I'm crying. Yeah, there's a lot of pain there. And I'm sure, I'm sure, let me be real, I'm sure there's pain there for you. And that's real and that's valid. And just know that you don't need the bridge to healing to be full understanding. You just need it to be coming. You just needed it to come from the heart, and honor that heart's truth, because whatever your heart's truth is, whether it's forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for them, acceptance of what is, and forgiveness of yourself, like, whatever it may be that you need, like, I think the most effective healing route forward, if you are curious and want that sort of thing, you don't have to, would be centered around listening to your heart and not your mind, and making sure you're not minimizing your own experience or minimizing what you truly need out of guilt or discomfort of the truths you expose. You deserve to undergo your own healing process. And one thing I will say is that it does seem like for a lot of you, your family members want to do right by you. They're just still learning how, because you're wired very differently from them. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and finish this reading off with a guidance card from this from those that see you in the spiritual realms, heaven, or heaven. Oh shit, boobs. Get your boobs back. I wasn't trying to have boobs be seen. I gotta write that down. So this could be family members in spirit, just loving beings in the spirit realm or in heaven that are seeing you. Let's see what guidance they have for you and just what they would say to you. So group 2, the spirits of unconditional love. Let's see, group 2. What do you want group 2 to know? What guidance do you have for my group 2s at this time? Okay, we have this little guy, and it says, with love. Yeah, and it says, dearest you, we have something exciting to share with you. You are a manifesting master, and you don't even know it. There will always be enough of everything that you need in your life. Money, opportunities, love, kindness. So whatever you're asking guidance about, have faith and be open to the many ways in which you will experience prosperity. Spirit is the source of your supply. The universe is always reflecting back to you what you believe. So whenever you fall into insecurity, you will be shown an illusion as if your fear were real. But the truth is that the universe is abundant. You are and always have been enough, and abundance is your natural state. If you can imagine something consistently as truth, you can and will create it. You are so on the right path right now. Keep believing, then the seeing happens. Loving you more and more every day. So honestly, that's probably a big reason why some of the people in your orbit are like, how does group 2, like, how do they have like all of, like, how do they have all this going on when it seems like when they are, you know, when it doesn't seem like they're doing very much, or like, how do they do so much in so little time? Like, master manifester, and we love to see it. And actually, and I think that's one thing the spirit realm sees that you don't. It's like, no wonder you have trouble believing in yourself when no one else has been able to see. I think besides romantic partners, honestly, and friends, like the light and power that your spirit has. I think everyone sees your spirit, but the ways in which they see it, I don't think they register it on the level of like soul depth. I think they see it as aesthetic or as action or as behavior or as a feeling of, oh, I like this person, or I can't stand this person because how does everything work out for them? Like it really gives me like some of the people in your orbit remind me, like, if you're Homer Simpson, they're Frank Grimes, and they're just like really mad about, but let me be clear, you are nowhere near, you are nothing like Homer Simpson. You're in fact very competent. You're just not like anal about how you do things in the material dimension. And for whatever reason, those types of people seem to think that if you're not that way, that you're doing something wrong or something about you ain't right. But there's nothing wrong with you. That being said, though, group number 2, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's the simplest and easiest way to show appreciation and support for my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates, subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification button to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You check out merch, social media. You can check out my candles. Be sure to use code ASO10 for 10% off any candles on Angelic Magic 88 site. You can sign up for my email list. The folks on my email list get email list privileges. They get random updates about the wildlife near me, little messages of love. Also, if I ever open personal readings, my email list is going to be the only group of people to know. And finally, is there anything else? Yeah, oh, tip, hype, Cashapp, palehag, PayPal, email. Yeah, you can leave me a little hype or super thanks. All that's super helpful. So thank you guys so much. And you can just send me good vibes because I'm sending you good vibes right back. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. I hope this resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Lapis Ankh and the Kei Love Tarot, this is going to be your reading on how do others see you. So full breakdown of the reading in the intro if you want to get some advice or tidbits on how you can choose to interpret these cards. But or choose to interpret these topics, but I will trust that you trust your own judgment, and I will also point out what you can do should I feel called to. We're gonna start by looking at how strangers, passerbys, just randos, how they see you, and go from there. So if you just want to focus your energy on the deck and just set the intentions that the cards that are meant to come through do. Thank you for being here. And if you enjoy this reading, thank you for leaving me a like so that other people can enjoy this reading, and I know that you're enjoying it. So group number 3, how do strangers, passerbys, randos, and on the streets and on social media, how do they see group number 3, please? Wow. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this right now. The 8 of Wands came out in the exact same position, upright, for group 2. And the entire time I was doing group 2's reading, I wanted to call them group 3. So if you felt drawn to group 2, you may want to watch that after this. Or if you feel drawn to group 2, or if you're from group 2, hi, isn't this funny that we're seeing this again? This 8 of Wands is giving me a bit of a different vibe. Go to the very beginning of group 2's reading, actually. I'll write down a timestamp for when I start interpreting the 8 of Wands, because I feel like, because I'm not repeating the same things, because a lot of the things are the same. So at the very least, you should see that. So I'm just writing down a reminder to add a timestamp of where my interpretation of the 8 of Wands is for there, because I think a lot of that is the same. But the biggest thing is if you have red hair, people notice, or when you wear red, people notice you more. Or your aura is very red. Like, you're definitely very attention catching. If you have like tall hair, or like big hair, people really notice that about you. But I think you are just very colorful and energetic in a contrasting, like, more gray environment. Like, I feel like you are a source of visual entertainment rather than visual boredom. Like, not entertainment in a bad way, entertainment in a good way. Like, you're something lovely. Like, you're walking art, I guess, is how I would describe you. Like, people, the way that you like style yourself aesthetically, it seems to be very pleasing and attention grabbing. The interesting thing though is that the big difference that I would see between the 8 of Wands in this group and the 8 of Wands in the last group is it seems like for this group you're in less of a hurry, or you seem less rushed. If anything, it's just like your energy is powerful and your focus is very like intense and also attractive. Like, people really like your like when you have their gaze on them, they find you to be very fierce. Like, I just visually saw Merida from Disney's Brave, and she literally has beautiful curly red hair. So if you have beautiful red hair, which if you have red hair, it is beautiful. Give me names and addresses of people that have ever given you a problem, because I'll talk to them. Like, I will. Like, I think red hair is so freaking beautiful. I've always, you know, some of my friends have red hair and they're just so beautiful. They literally look like mermaids. So you might, or maybe you just do have a bit of a fiery presence. I don't know why I didn't think of this already. I think a lot of people, when they see you, they just think you're hot. But also, you look like you could burn them. It's like, oh, I'm not going to talk to that hot person because I really don't want to know how they see me. Like, there is a little bit of a, you're definitely less approachable than group 2's 8 of Wands. I feel like you're kind of like, people just see you as like, oh, that person seems important and is attractive. I'm going to stay out of their way, because if I'm rejected by them, I think it will ruin my week, potentially my month. And if you do have a social, like if you post on social media, I think that your pictures are very attractive. I think people notice that they either get a lot of attention or there's a lot of like, you might just have a lot of good friends that comment great things whenever you do post. But there seems to be hype around you. And people are hyped to get your attention, and there is kind of a bit of like a trophy energy about you where people kind of see you as like, I think a lot of people project their fantasies onto you without really knowing you. And I would say that like physical attractiveness wise, I don't think that this is something strangers know, but I would be willing to bet like if this is your reading, you probably had a lot of experiences where you got, and I guess we'll look at this with romantic interests. You've had a lot of experiences where people have fallen in love with the ideals they've projected onto you rather than your true self. And it's probably been very painful for you because it's like, oh, you were seeing my vessel, not my soul. Like that sucks. Yeah, people see your vessel. Your vessel attracts attention, and people wanna they either want to be penetrated by a vessel or penetrate that vessel. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, well, I do know what to tell you. It's that. Okay. Going a little bit broader, though, I want to see how the people in your orbit see you. So this is like coworkers, peers, people that you're not necessarily close to, but you see frequently because of obligations, proximity, whatever. So how do the people in group 3's orbit, how do they see group 3, please? Okay, we have the 8 of Swords in reverse. Five of Pentacles reverse. You're definitely an inspiration to the people around you. They do not see... Well, first of all, if you know what the Five of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords mean, if you resonate with being in those energies, it certainly doesn't show. In fact, if anything, it shows outwardly the opposite. The Five of Pentacles energy is like the energy of financial insecurity, financial loss, financial lack, or just loss, lack, a feeling of being out in the cold, things of that nature. 8 of Swords is like being trapped mentally, stuck in your mind. Like, and the big important thing about the 8 of Swords is that these are self-imposed mental limitations, self-imposed mental prisons that we can get out of if we are able to see clearly. So I think that people around you, I think people feel better about themselves around you. And it's not because you make an effort to do that, but because I feel like people don't feel judged by you. It's like they're less hyper vigilant of how they come across when they're around you because there's something about your comfortability with yourself that makes them feel comfortable. But the irony is I don't know if you are comfortable with yourself, but there is just at least an acceptance of who you are that I don't think you try to hide. And I think that makes other people feel more acceptable. I think that there's also you've probably just said things like flippantly or just like casually without thinking too deeply about it. Like things about any debt that you may have or any financial struggles you may have or any struggles you may have with anxious thoughts or like, mental health. And I actually think, or physical illness problems, like things like that. I feel like you've talked about these things casually in ways that may have made people realize that these things aren't shameful and you shouldn't have to hide them. Like, I think you've brought awareness to people that there's nothing bad or shameful about having a hard time or experiencing rough circumstances inherently. Like the shame and the guilt is not only self-generated, but is taught by other judgmental humans, I think that they're with you. I think they know that excuses won't fly with you. You're somebody who's like, if someone's like, I'm having a bad day, like, I just don't think I can get this done, you're gonna be like, I'm having a bad day too. Like, I have to get it done. Like, just cry and do it. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I think that you are somebody who does not save people from themselves and refuses to enable people. And so I think that you kind of have this really great protective mechanism around you that you've created by just not enabling toxic patterns and dynamics with people struggling with like learned helplessness and things like that. If there's a lot of people in your orbit that struggle with things like that, or that use their struggles as an excuse not to follow through on responsibility, or as an excuse for their behavior, I think that you kind of show them that that isn't an excuse, and that you reveal the truth that, hey, everybody's going through something, everybody's struggling with something, like we all have hardships, like we can't make our hardships our personality, or we can't really heal. And I think that if you feel like there are people that you've wanted to connect to in your orbit, I honestly would probably say you haven't had a desire to, but at the very least, if you've tried, I think the reason why that actually didn't work out is because you couldn't connect with those types of people, because like they connect through misery and pain and like wounding as identity, and I think you're just not at that place. And I don't think you judge it or anything like that, which is wonderful, but I think you just recognize like, it just doesn't feel good. It's not empowering. This isn't me. But I also think that you are a beautiful, like you're like kind of the most welcome slap in the face, because I think that there are some people that don't want to be in the space that they're in, and they just need someone to remind them like, hey, we're all going through shit. It's okay, but like, don't let, the lens of your own suffering dissuade you or delude you into thinking that other people don't have it hard too, or that other people aren't carrying struggles as well. I feel like there's just a part of you that refuses to make space for people in ways that are not genuine accommodations, but rather like manipulative ways to avoid accountability or responsibility. Like, I feel like you're more than happy to make accommodations for someone when they need them, but you're just not willing to, when an accommodation becomes enabling, those people know to stay away from you, and they don't really try it with you. In fact, I think people kind of know, like, you have a pretty good bullshit detector. So I think people actually really enjoy hearing you talk, or just talking to you casually about things. And you might even have people come up to you and talk about like their friends and things like that, and you might feel like, why did they tell me that? And it's usually because their friend is actually them, and they're trying to get your insight on something, and they're too embarrassed to let you know that like they really want your advice. So there might be some people with big egos around you that are too proud to admit that that you have good insight. What do the friends around, and these friends could be past or future, or past or present. I guess they could be future. I didn't mean to say future, but maybe there are some future friends in here. But how do group 3's friends see group 3? Aw, we have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I believe that. You've got like a borderline psychic attunement to your friends. Like, it seems like you just always know when something's wrong, or they're dealing with something, or there's something they're not admitting. And I don't even think you always realize you're doing it, but your friends can't hide things from you. And honestly, they're really glad that they can't, because I feel like the things that you see are very healing when you acknowledge them. You're very sweet about it. What else though? How else do group 3's friends see them? Okay, let me cover this up. We have the Star in reverse, which is really interesting as well, because the Star also came out in group 2. Actually, did it? No, it came out in group 2 in a different spot. Never mind. It came out in group 1 on the friends side, but it was on its side. So, bit of a different energy, but still cool. Okay, what else though? How do group 3's friends see group 3? I'm hearing that One Direction song, like, what's the most famous one? Like, you don't know you're beautiful, that's what makes you beautiful. They don't think that the fact that you don't realize your value is what makes you beautiful, but they do recognize that you don't see your value and you don't recognize how valued you are in their life. Your friends definitely see you as someone who gives too much of yourself to others, and they also see you as someone incredibly generous who really struggles to heal themselves because they're too busy healing everyone else. No wonder you've got no time for the people in your orbit. You're like, listen, like, it seems like you've got nothing left. Like, you've just got nothing to give them. And I would not even be surprised if sometimes you feel guilty because you can't give more of yourself. But I think your exhaustion has led to burnout has just led you to be like, yeah, I can't, and accept that, which is good. You shouldn't feel obligated to heal others. But your friends find you to be a very compassionate and healing presence, and you seem to have this knack for knowing what they want to talk about, or they just feel lighter in their spirit after they're with you. And I feel like with this King of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like, once again, your friends do kind of see you as someone who doesn't recognize their worth and maybe does get taken advantage of a little bit by, or maybe you used to get taken advantage of. I feel like they see you as being very guarded because of wounds around, like, past people that were, like, crappy friends that didn't treat you right. And I think that they recognize how you still don't see yet that, like, those were just really shitty friends. Like, you didn't deserve to have those experiences. I feel like your friends also see you as someone that is still working through father wounds of some kind, or wounding around, like, material gain, specifically material gain that is earned by you and deserved for your hard work. Like, I feel like there's a part of you that feels like you don't deserve what you earn, and your friends recognize that. I think your friends get a little bit frustrated at your lack of confidence sometimes. And I think that they would say, or they think, like, if you are the type of person who they just wish you would, I think you know you're a good friend. I think your friends wish that could translate into a good human. Like, you're not just a good friend, you're a good human being. But I think one magical thing that you do help with your friends is you seem to help remind your friends of distorted, egoic ideas around ambition and around, like, value and around worth. I think you show them where there's room to find more peace, more acceptance, more self-compassion by letting go of visions or ideals related to material gain being the end-all be-all, or material gain being the most important thing. And I don't mean like obviously material gain is important to a degree. Like, if your survival needs are not met, like, that's a problem. But I think that I'm not talking about material gain in order to be stable. I'm talking material gain when it's the impact on your quality of life gaining more, like, it's a marginal difference. Like, you just might have a higher tax bill and more in your savings. Like, it's a level of material gain where it's like, do you really feel like you need to be doing that, or are you doing that because you're pressuring yourself? Like, I think that your friends just see you as someone who really breaks through standards of what their generation or your generation was taught. I feel like for a lot of you, these friends are in the same generation as you, but for others, you might have friends that are in a different generation from you. And so as a result, things that they were taught could be very different from how you were taught. And one thing they might say is that, like, you give them hope that, like, things are not as bleak as they seem, and also that the world along with your generation, is like kinder than people think. I think you just honestly restore their faith, and they wish that you would see your own light. I feel like they do recognize that you dim your light for other people. But also I think it's because they recognize you have a discomfort with shining in general, even though you do so effortlessly. Like, I think you're just uncomfortable with the attention. You don't know how to handle it, and I think you have a hard time receiving praise. Even though you're so good at like giving love and care to other people, I think you do have a hard time receiving it. And I do feel like you have this expectation of like, I need to be nurturing and forgiving and generous with all of my friends, but my friends need to give me tough love. My friends need to be hard on me. My friends are allowed to be mad or frustrated or passive aggressive with me. And I think your friends are just like, we know lobotomies aren't good, but we may have to schedule you one if you're going to be this delusional about how wonderful you are. And honestly, I can't say I blame them. Okay, now we're going to look at romantic interests / partners. If you are already married or in a serious long-term relationship, if you have a family with someone, you can save them to the very end. But if you want, and instead you can do like just past romantic partners, or you can put your romantic partner here in this. Do it how it works for you. But for group number 3, how do romantic interests / partners, how do they see, and this can be multiple partners if you're polyamorous, whatever works for you. How do romantic interests, partners, past, present, how do they see group number 3? Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. Some of your friends really hate your spouse. If you are married to someone and they're a bit of they've got a little bit of Peter Pan syndrome, or they've got a little bit of entitlement when it comes to you, or a expectation when it comes to you that they don't always return, I do think your friends could feel like you deserve better than them. But some of that could also come from a place of like, maybe they don't see like how this person, I don't know. Let's go more deeply. Maybe your friends feel like the people that have been like in your life as potential partners, like your exes and stuff, like they are, especially if you're divorced, like if you have an ex-spouse, I think your friends are like, they really think like you deserve so much better to begin with, and they're also just very happy that that you may not be in those circumstances anymore. Or I don't know, if you are in a relationship and it's not going well, and let me be clear, it's not going well, and it's like every day is a struggle and you're absolutely miserable in the relationship and it seems like nothing ever gets better. If that sounds correct, I do think your friends are like, they don't see a future in that relationship, and they really just want you to do the compassionate thing and stop breaking your own heart by giving this person a million chances. That message is not for everyone, but those who it's for, you know. And so you're like, if you're like, oh, I don't know if this is it's not your message, because for those who it is, they know. If you get hit by a car, you're gonna know. You're gonna feel its impact. So if you're standing on the side of the road, completely intact and unharmed, you're not being hit by a car. Same goes for this. If the message hit you like a freight train with truth, a freight train of truth, and you know it to be true, it's your message. If it made you question and fearful and be like, what if? It's not your message. And you need to have more conviction in your own life with peace and love, because you are the ultimate authority on your life and your truth, not a pair of talking hands on the internet. Okay, how else does group 3's past or present romantic partners, how do they see group 3? We have the Knight of Wands. Who else? We have the Lovers. And one more. We have Judgment. Okay. Wow. So I really hope for those who have who that message was for them, I really do hope that like this is a past thing that you've already moved through. Because if it's not a past thing you've moved through, I could see why this is so challenging. Because if you do have a partner in your life, like they do genuinely love you very much. And like they know that they need to grow and change. Hopefully they're acting on it. It could be a maturity process sort of thing. But I don't want to get zeroed into that message because this is much bigger and much broader than that. But if you did go through a really rough breakup where you had to let go of someone, know that in addition to any present partners in your life or in addition to any other past partners, they also see you this way that we're about to go into. So people that see that romantic interest see you, number one, as an ideal sort of long-term partner / spouse. They see you as someone that is nurturing, caring, gentle, easy. You might be a really good cook, or like you're really good. You might have like a Taurus Venus or a Taurus moon. Oh, shout out to the Taurus moons. I love Taurus moons. That's my favorite moon sign. If you are a Taurus moon, I love you. And if you're not a Taurus moon, I also love you. But if you're a Taurus moon, I love you. I feel like there's a really grounded and pragmatic nature to you, but you're also not stingy. Like I think that you walk a good balance between fiscally responsible and enjoying your hard-earned money. I also think though with the Knight of Wands, you're a very adventurous partner and lover. I think that you have a lot of sexual energy, and that's something that like your partners are noting, and that you're very passionate. I think like one thing that really makes people fall in love with you is your face and your mannerisms when you're talking about something that really excites you. There's something about your passion that is just infectious and magnetic. And if anyone's ever torn you down for that, honestly, it's because they're jealous that they've never felt that way about anything. Like your passion for Legos could be stronger than someone else's love for their wife. Like I'm not kidding. Like there are people that come into contact with your enthusiasm and it pisses them off because they have to face this truth that you are more passionate about insert random topic here than they are about the like most precious things in their world. It's like they're really like, wow, I'm disconnected from my emotions. It might not mean that they're incapable of being passionate, but it might just make them realize what they've been missing out on because they haven't been tapping into it or forgot it existed. The fact that we have the Lovers in Judgment, I think that there is no person that hasn't been forever changed by being in a relationship with you or by being in connection with you. The fact that we have the Lovers card here, I think is really powerful. And I actually said this in group 2. I said that pretty much every partner you come into contact with like sees you as a soulmate. And part of why that is because you know, you connect with everyone on a soul level. So when they're of course they're going to be your soulmate sort of thing. But what's interesting here is that I don't think everyone in your past sees you as a soulmate, but I do think everyone in your past sees you as someone, God, the divine, the universe, whatever they believe in. Even if they don't even believe in anything, even if they are like the most atheist to ever atheist, there's still a part of them, whether they admit it or not, that does feel like there's a symbolic reason for why you were in their life. Like, I think every single partner or romantic interest you've ever had that you shared that interest and interacted with them in any way, the experience, divine, the implications, profound, the changes, irreversible, the growth, optional, but the truth, undeniable. That's the presence and effect that you have. And you know what's really crazy is that I think that once again you are someone who is a bit idealized. Like if you've been married in your past, and you're no longer married or in the process of ending that marriage, and especially for reasons because it was like you were like a trophy spouse, or your spouse like chose to be in a relationship with you because of surface level reasons or on paper like what you brought to them, not only are they gonna wish 20 years down the line they looked at life a bit like a lot differently, but I still feel like they recognize, I think actually, unless you instigated this ending, if they instigated it and you didn't want it to end, the reason why they instigated it is because they were aware of the depth and power of your love, and they felt like they not only could they not match it, but you deserved someone so much better than them. Like, I feel like they might have realized how surface level and shallow their reasons for being with you were. And I think it kind of broke their heart a little bit, and they felt horrible because they realized, number one, they've been doing this whole love thing really wrong. And number two, someone that they do genuinely love, which is you, like, they've never been able to love at the depth and capacity that you do. I think that there's something just very like comforting about your energy. Anyone who is in a relationship with you, if you're in a relationship right now, your partner definitely like absolutely adores and loves you. And if this is a newer situation, like I'm hearing this Sabrina Carpenter song Honeymoon Fates, which is literally just like the whole gist of the song is like, I hope that we stay the same after the honeymoon fades. And so I do think, and the interesting thing is that the lovers too can speak to a honeymoon phase. And the lovers really is like, there's deep feeling and connection, but the real test comes once you add earthly elements into it, you know, things like survival needs, pragmatism, things like that, the way that people live, they can either make or break their relationship. And so I feel like every romantic interest you've ever had sees you as someone incredibly transformative and profound. And they also see like you as a gift from God, a gift from the divine, because even if the situation was messy or hard or resulted in heartbreak or loss, you showed them something powerful that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. If you do have a partner currently with you, I feel like your partner can't imagine your life without you in it, and also feels like, I'm really getting like Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack and Sally, like we're simply meant to be vibes. Like there's just yeah, no, this makes sense. I also think there's just a lot of excitement. Like I feel like if you do have a partner, they're very passionate about you. I do feel like past exes do bring you up in conversation to brag. I mean, you are very physically attractive to past and current partners. But there's also a nurturing, like, parental instinct about you that I think is really attractive as well. That I think if you don't already have children, if that's something that you want and like any romantic partners or interests want, like I think they see you as like someone that the ideal type of person to like procreate with. But also I think you are definitely someone who has plants or animals or something under your care in your home. And the level of care, even if it's just your home itself, the level of care and attention that you devote to the things under your care is very attractive, and also something that really cements to people like the type of person that you are. And I think a lot of people don't know what love is and what love can be and what love looks like until they've come into contact with you or experienced what it's like to have just a really deep and intense bond with someone. But the thing is that the intensity, I don't think, is the bond itself. The intensity is the truth the bond reveals. So, I do think there are people from your past that judge themselves really hard for fumbling you. Actually, I think if there's, there for some of you, you might be like, there's no way that this past ex is angry about fumbling me. And I will say, you're correct about that, but their family's angry. And they would give your ex up to get you back. I'm not even kidding. But speaking of that, our final row, we are going to look at biological family, chosen family, or those closest to you, whether that closeness is in connection or proximity, those that have, those that see you in your most intimate moments or have seen you. Take it, you can choose how you want to go about it, and what it is for you. We might see different things, but just take what resonates and don't let the rest take from you. Is this all in the frame? Yeehaw. Okay. So, group 3s, bio family, chosen family, those once closest or those presently closest to group 3. How do they see group 3? Okay, we have the 7 of Wands. We have the Moon and the 6 of Swords in reverse. What else? We have, is this a 9 of Pentacles? The 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And finally, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. I feel like your family is very protective over you. If not your bio family, your chosen family. Because I think if anything, your family feels fearful, sad, and secretive of how protective they feel over you. If you were like, for some of you, I'm hearing like maybe you had an ex-spouse or in the process of like divorcing someone who cheated on you, or someone who really did you dirty, made you feel, and it doesn't have to be divorce, it could be a breakup, maybe it was a situationship where you got played by someone. Whoever is closest to you, they really feel some type of way about it, and they feel very defensive and protective of you, and they also feel very fearful of you getting hurt again. There's a little bit of enmeshment here, and I do feel like there is this, for some of you, especially if this is chosen family, there could be someone in your chosen family that wants to be more than family, if you know what I mean. And note I said chosen family there, but if it's a bio family, I would be like, I don't know what to tell you there, my dude. Run, I don't know. Maybe that's a truth best left uncovered. But I meant chosen family, not the latter. There's someone in your chosen family. Pay attention to what they say about any potential partners or things like that around you, because they will hate all of them because they are not this person. This person, I think, wants to be with you in a romantic way, and I think you see them in like I love you as a person, you're like family to me, but I don't see you in a romantic lens. I feel like there is someone in your chosen family who refuses to give up the dream of, yeah, but what if they decide, what if they realize they do want to see me, or like do want to like be with me, do you want to yeah, and I guess see me, like they hope that you will start to see them as more than just family. I feel like they do put you on a bit of a pedestal, and there's a part of them that, yeah, y'all, I gotta just like, as a human being, reading another human being, it might be helpful to put up a little bit of a boundary here, or to just be a bit cautious around like what you share with this person and how much time and energy you spend with them, because there could be some volatility from them if they feel like you've played with their emotions in any way. And now I gotta be clear, I don't see you doing that in any way. In fact, I would say that this person sees you as keeping them at arm's length, and you're probably like, oh, trust me, I'm already setting boundaries. But I definitely feel like they see you as someone that they never want to have a falling out with, they never want to have conflict with, they always want to be in the good graces of. And I think they know that things are weird and there are things not being said, and there's kind of like, there's like a vibe between the two of you. And they know that you're keeping them at a distance, but if they've been reaching out to you and stuff, they are kind of fighting the distance that you've put up a little bit. And there's like a part of them that's like, does not want to move forward. I think like there is a part of them that is a bit romantically obsessed and does not want to move on. But for those of you that are like, I don't have anyone in my chosen family that seems to be obsessed with me in that way, well, that's great. And then that message is not for you, my angel. But I would say for all of you, whether this is bio or chosen family in general, I think that there's just a recognition and acknowledgement that you haven't healed from some painful experiences that really hurt you and wounded you, and really just made you feel like, number one, you couldn't trust people, and number two, that you weren't good enough. Like I see with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse here, I feel like your family feels like there's a hyper independence to you, where like it seems like you're either doing your own thing, or when you do open up to someone, it just seems like they're trying to take advantage of you. Or and the truth is that's not the case with everyone. Like whoever this is, whether it's bio or chosen family, they don't see your dating life. They don't see what's going on there. They don't know what's going on there. So I do think there is a bit of a skewed vision around, like they might think your quote, I hate this phrase, but that your quote picker's broken and that you're not good at picking partners. But the thing is that you're actually a very intuitive person. It's just that a lot of what I think has swept you off your feet in the past has been a lot of romantic sincerity in the beginning that then wanes, and then what's left is attachment and like the desire to get that back. But the person you're involved with either doesn't like have that genuine feeling anymore, or they're like the type of person who they lose that feeling once things get real or intense, or you know, maybe that feeling was fake to begin with to just win your approval. Whatever the case may be, I feel like you do genuinely pick up on, I think you're either your family or your chosen family. I would say this is probably your bio family more than your chosen family. I don't think they understand abusive partnerships and how abuse can be, like abuse can happen to anyone. Like being abused is not a marker of whether you're intelligent or not. Like intelligent people get abused all the time. It's not a matter of your intelligence level or your ability to sense. Like abusers by nature are manipulative. And I'm probably saying that word too much, but I think that you've had some really painful experiences in your past with those types of people who earned your trust and then broke it. And I think your family saw the broken parts. They didn't see the lead up to how they got into your life and into your world. And so I think your family has a misunderstanding of, number one, any experiences that you've gone through, and number two, understanding of how those situations happen, because nobody willingly enters a situation like that, especially if the writing's on the wall. You quite literally have to be manipulated and into that. You know what I mean? I feel like though there's this conscious effort not to push you away though. And I do think that it's really hard for them to see the pieces of yourself that you haven't reclaimed yet, because you're still healing or just overcoming some sort of painful experiences in your life, especially when it comes to love. I feel like your family, like those close to you, they just don't want to argue with you. and they don't want you to feel betrayed or like you can't trust them either. And so I feel like they kind of silently hold in their fear, but they do feel a bit protective and defensive of you. So don't be surprised if you find them resistant to anyone new that comes into your life, or you talking about romance in general, because like it comes from a misguided place of wanting to keep you safe and protect you. But the thing is that those painful experiences you've had, number one, you're not going to fall for them again, because now you know what you're looking at when that sort of deception and manipulation arises. But also, number two, I think that your family may not know how to accept or acknowledge that it's okay to be independent or single. Like, you could have some family dynamics where, you know, I'll read my dad for a second. My own father, you know, the one that should be like, no man's good enough for my little girl. He's the one that's like, sweetie, you know, maybe you should think about seeing someone or open yourself up to someone. I'm like, Dad. Well, first of all, I don't talk guys with my dad, so that's not happening. But like, he's telling me this when I'm like 24, and my mother is like, honey, like, she's young, like she's fine. And I also try to explain, I'm like, listen, like, you've given me a good standard of the type of partner that I want, and I'm not going to settle. And you've been in those ponds too, you know what's out there. It's a bit bleak. And I'm like, it's really easy to look at partnership in an idealized lens when you have a good, long-lasting, healthy, secure relationship with someone. I also want that. And so we gotta be a little bit selective and smart with who we spend our time and energy with. So it's just kind of funny, because I feel like some of the people in your family could be like my dad, who's like, he just doesn't want to see me alone. Like, he wants me to have what he and my mom have. But I'm like, yeah, I want that too. And so you gotta understand that just doesn't come walking down the street. It's a gift for sure. It's a blessing, but it's also, it doesn't show up every day, and it's not something you can have when you settle or make yourself smaller just to stay partnered. Like, I think that your family, whether chosen or bio or both, the individuals in these groups, they're working through templates in their own life around partnership and around like their understanding of partnership and just expectations around partnership that maybe they had placed on them that they didn't realize that maybe they were placing on you. I guess if you did get into an argument with any family recently, I do think they're afraid of confronting things, and they do still feel defensive, but they don't want to fight with you, and they do want things to be better. But I do think they're also just giving you your space. I think more than anything, like, your family just wants to see you thrive and be happy and see your self-worth, and they feel like right now you're not seeing that for very understandable reasons, or feel like you're not at that place right now. And I think part of them, they may feel really guilty and bad if anything they said like enabled a toxic dynamic or a toxic relationship to go on longer than it should have. But also, if it's of any benefit to you, if your family gives you advice or and even chosen family give you their thoughts on a situation, and you immediately want to reject it or just feel defensive about accepting it, not because it's true and you don't want to admit it, but because it's not true for you, and it's distressing to think about that, like, that illusion being like real, because it's not. I feel like you're really just being encouraged to trust your own instincts, and when you feel a strong urge to slam the door on some piece of unsolicited guidance or an opinion that really does not match your lived experience or does not honor what your own intuitive guidance is telling you, please don't take it. Feel free to keep that stuff at an arm's length. I do think that there are some emotional cycles to be worked through in family dynamics and systems. And actually, I would even say this is stronger with chosen family, because you might have like dynamics with chosen family where things are a bit enmeshed, or there's just so much like sharing and blending of boundaries and energies and of like experiences that it's hard to separate yourself from the other, or stand in your truth, because you might be more focused on keeping the peace. But ultimately, I think your family does, whether it's chosen or biological, they really do just want the best for you. Like, they want you to be happy. They want you to be safe more than anything. Your family is very protective of you, and they really want, but they don't want you to know that, because they don't want you to feel defensive or feel like they don't think you can't take care of yourself, because they know you can take care of yourself. It's just that you may be a little bit too good at that, and keep them out. And also, some of this family, if you were in like a really intense, toxic, or heaven forbid, ABUS, IBE relationship, like you were probably isolated from them during that time, and they probably lost you, and they probably, you know, still have feelings about that and are still like trying to come to terms themselves with that stuff. You know, it's actually really fascinating too, like how the very beginning of this reading really started like group 2, but the energies have gotten different. So definitely please watch group 2 if you feel drawn to it, because I really do think like this could be the other side of things in a lot of, like, I feel like I feel like there's more for you in group 2's reading. I think it might give a more whole idea of how the people in your life see you, because I could really see a lot of things I said there and a lot of the things I'm saying here mixed together. But know if you ever feel like your family is against you, or they're like tearing down your good news, or you just feel like they're not as excited as they should be, or they're not behind you, it's not because they don't want to support you. It's because they're afraid of you getting hurt, and it's like their misguided way of trying to protect you. It's not good or okay, but that's what's happening. They don't not believe in you. They just are too uncomfortable with their own fear of not being in control of what happens to you and not being able to protect you from things, because they really want to do that. And I would say, like, your mom in general, your mom can be like the most that just wants to protect you and just wants to keep you safe, and would literally just jump in front of a train to keep you safe. And I'm like, Mom, stay off the tracks, please. Group 3's mom, let's not do that. But that is the level where it's like, okay, you got that dog in you. We see that. Keep it leashed. Like, group 3's got it. Don't worry, group 3's family. But we're going to go ahead and finish off with how the beings in the spirit realm or heaven see you and what guidance they want you to know. So it's really more like what they're seeing go on in your life and just what guidance they want to give you. So for group number 3, the beings in spirit that love them unconditionally, what guidance do you have for group 3s? What do you need them to know? Okay, so I do want to mention we have group 2's postcard. I think they're like almost the same, except there's a crown on this one, but they both say with love, and they're both like 2 cents from heaven, same color. So just another similarity. Dear you, check in occasionally with yourself about your motives behind actions you plan on taking, especially when you have an end game in mind. Is the source of your motivation, desire, or entitlement? Maybe you're drawn to a certain path because you think it will bring you a feeling related to the outcome you seek, like safety or wholeness. This really reminds me of what your friends were talking about. So maybe you're doing the same thing, and maybe you're like inspiring them and showing them, or like maybe you guys are showing each other like the safety and wholeness that you seek is not in ambition or material gain. It's in the connections with the people we care about and our connection to ourselves. Know that you will see a reflection in the outer world of the motive that drives you forward. Do you need a motive? Can you simply be pulled in the direction your soul calls you toward joy, discovery, growth, or adventure, participating in something compelling and meaningful without trying to define it? If you can step forward, surrender to whatever spirit has in store for you, you will be amazed at how things turn out. Check your motives, then hand them over to spirit. Everybody here wants the best for you. Life loves you more than you know. And group 3, I love you more than you know. And, you know, I do just want to acknowledge, like, some heavy topics did come out through here. So I really hope that you're getting the support and the care that you need. And I hope you're giving yourself permission to heal in the way that you need to, on the timeline that works for you, and not on the timeline of your expectations or others' expectations. Grief does not have a time limit, and neither does healing. But if you are already Miss Moving On, that's wonderful too. Or Mr. Moving On. Or a gender neutral person moving on. Love it. That being said, group 3, that's where I'm going to leave your reading. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's the simplest and easiest way to show support and appreciation for my channel, and help let me keep this tarot train going. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Shout out to my notification squad. If you want me to see your comments, I usually see comments when I first upload, and after that it is up to fate. But sometimes I don't see comments when I first upload because I get really anxious. So then I just go when I'm not afraid. Sign up for my email list. If you ever want a personal reading from me, if I ever open personal readings, it will be done via my email list. Also, other things that you can do, you can check out merch, social media, candles, other videos, the extendeds. You can share me with a friend, give this video a like, hype it, things like that. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can send me love in the ether. I'm definitely sending you love right back. So that's all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching and for letting me read for you. I really hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Scolecite Pyramid and I almost pointed to my water bottle and said, and the water bottle, and the Cosmobeings tarot, this is going to be your reading on how do others see you. So go ahead and just focus your energy on the deck and just set the intention that the messages most necessary come through. I'm really glad I chose to do this reading because some really interesting messages have come out. So yeah, I'm sure this group will be just as interesting. So we're gonna go ahead and start. We'll break down the reading, the intro, but we're gonna go ahead and start. As you can see, my hands are not big enough to shuffle this deck adequately, but I'm so brave for trying. We're gonna start by looking at how strangers, passerbys, randoms, how they see you. This could be in person or on social media, really up to you. It could be both, it could be none. Well, it's gotta be something, can't be none. Unless you never leave your house. That being said, group number 4, please. How do strangers, passerbys, randos, how do they see group number 4? We have a sun in reverse. I feel like people wonder what's got you so happy, or I think that, number one, I think you probably have resting bitch face. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that, like, you at your happy and content place, other people might be like, does group 4 not like me? Or like, that person seems like they're having a bad day, when realistically you might be having a great day. I think you actually are very unassuming. And you're a quintessential example of don't judge a book by its cover. Because I feel like if people aren't looking, they will overlook you. But if they actually take the time to get to know you, treasure trove of incredible, like, you're just a treasure trove of a human and a spirit. Like, you're just a wonderful person. And I think that when it comes to how you style yourself, like maybe you style yourself in a lot of neutrals and blacks and whites and grays and like earth tones, and you just kind of have this like, you just kind of fly under the radar, like you've got you're just very demure and mindful. And so I feel like you kind of, and especially if you're trying to avoid being seen, I think that actually lends to people not noticing you, and not really paying attention. I also do think, though, people project a lot of assumptions onto you, like about how your life must be perfect or something. Like, I feel like people may not always realize that, like, you're happy or you're content because of RBF, but people also assume that your life is, like, happier than theirs or better than theirs, or that you have something that they don't, or that, like, you are more joyful than they are. I don't know why. But let's go ahead and see how the people in your orbit see you. So this could be coworkers, peers, just people in your orbit that you're not close to, but that you see frequently. So how do the people in group 4's orbit, how do they see group 4, please? Okay, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. How do they see group 4? We have the Ace of Pentacles. It's mixed. The people that actually know you vouch for you. The people that don't know you do the same thing that strangers do, where they just assume things about you without ever actually asking. Like, for whatever reason, people assume you won't like them before they even try to reach out to you. I don't know if there's something intimidating about your presence, or... Well, also with the Sun, strangers could just find you really hot. Or maybe the strangers that notice you find you hot. Or that's who you find yourself being pointed out to. I feel like the people that do know you that are also in your orbit, even if they don't know you well, they still vouch for you. Like, nah, like, group 4 is a really solid person. Like, they might even say things too, like, I thought group 4 didn't like me either when I first met them. That's just their face. Like they just, they're just hard to read. Like, they're really cool. They're really kind. I promise you, they're not judging you. Like, I think, though, there's a lot of people that make assumptions about you when you're just, like, existing. Like, I think you're just more a quieter person, especially around other people, especially with people in your orbit. I feel like people just might see you as, like, quiet but trustworthy and responsible. Like, you always do what you say you're gonna do, and you don't really have many issues. Like, you're definitely not somebody who is a burden, or who, like, you carry your own weight, and you also don't complain. And I think people really appreciate that about you. But also, because you're hard to read, people also may pile too much onto you, because number one, you're consistent, dependable, and responsible, and the people around you see that. But also, you don't complain or give people flack or ever say when there's too much of something. So I do think that there have been people around you that have taken advantage of that, even if they have kind of seen that there's a lot on your plate. Because unless you tell them no, they're not going to take no for an answer. But I think a lot of people see you as someone, if you just started working somewhere new, or if you got, like, a new client recently, or if you started a new program, if you're in school or something like that, I feel like the people around you, especially, like, bosses or professors, or, you know, teaching assistants, or people in your cohort, they see a lot of potential for you to go far. I think there's a level of intimidation, or, like, I don't have a reason to speak to group 4, so I'm not going to, but they seem to be really solid, and also seem to be, like, headed in the right direction. I think there's something where if there's one thing those in your orbit understand about you, is that you understand the assignment. Whatever the assignment is, you don't need written instructions. You make things happen, you get it done. and almost intuitively, like you know what people are truly looking for without even maybe them realizing it. So you have this uncanny ability to deliver results that are really solid and really impressive, but that could also lead to just people having high expectations of you in general. I think they kind of do. But also people could say as well, maybe you're slow to open up. That's one thing that they might say about you. There's definitely people in your orbit that vouch for you and clear up any misconceptions about you, because they ride hard for you because they think you're a great person. And I see why. Like you're the type of like student or employee that any person wants. You're definitely a lot more action than talk. I think the only people who find you distasteful are the ones that really like to gossip and the ones that really like to revel in misery, honestly, that like to commiserate. They think there's something wrong with you, or like there's just like, or that you're fake because you don't like doing that, because I don't think they can imagine other people just like minding their own business and having things going on in their life. So those types of people are like bothered by you and are definitely the type to project on you the most. So if those types of people act the weirdest with you, or you just feel the urge to avoid them altogether, that's probably a smart and intelligent thing to do, because it's just draining, is what I see. You definitely don't respond to words. You respond to action. And I think judgments and misconceptions are cleared up through action. Like your actions speak much louder than words ever could. And I think that any misconceptions that happen because of like preconceived notions or judgments that others make, either someone sets them straight or your own actions set them straight, and you usually don't even know it happens unless you're picking up on it. Okay, but let's go ahead and see how your friends see you. And this could be friends from your past, friends in your present, whatever you would like. So how do group force friends? The only thing you're not allowed to do is go into my comment section and be like, I don't have any friends. Like, yeah, with the attitude you're not, but like you literally joined this video where it starts with hi friends. So like not only are you wrong, but also that's not going to get you any friends. Friends don't want to be friends with people that say they don't have any friends. Friends want to be friends with people who want to connect with them. Sometimes we have to put ourselves out there. I'm sure you know that, but in case you don't. How else do group fours friends see them? We have the Ace of Cups. Yes, that makes sense. Yes, your friends love you. I know, can I be honest? They fucking love you. Like, they love you so much. And they will not stand for any group force slander. And I'm glad that you have friends like this. Your friends love you. Your friends are so happy with you. You're the ideal friend to travel with, in their mind. Like, or if you've gone on trips with certain friends, those friends are coming through to say like some of their favorite memories and like some of their most powerful experiences have been with you. Like, they're very grateful. There's just something very fulfilling about friendship with you where, like, emotionally speaking, like, friendship with you is an opportunity to experience, like, to just, like, experience the good feelings that life has to offer. And there's an openness and transparency to you, especially with your friends, that your friends really appreciate. Like, you're not the type of person you're not petty. With your friends, at least. And if you are petty with your friends, they don't pick up on it or see it, or it's not enough for them. Yeah, I think some things that you think are petty are not actually petty. It's like me thinking I'm the villain when I block someone for being like verbally abusive to me. I'm like, am I silencing their free speech? It's like, no, you're protecting your peace because you don't deserve to be harassed. Like, I think there are things that you judge yourself for that are not actual problems. I think that they are just healthy mechanisms to promote well-being. And I think that maybe you have some guilt around enacting them sometimes. But your friends don't mind. Your friends love you. They think you're awesome. Every time they see you, they're happy to see you. Like, your friends always feel better after they see you. And also, I think that especially friends that you've had for a really long time, life may change and your bodies may change and the people around you may change and your point of resonance may change, but your friendship stays the same. Like, there's some, like, when it comes to friendships with you, it's a pick up where we left off kind of vibe, and it's always great to see you. Like, they're always happy to see you, always happy to see what's up, and they trust you. Like, inherently they trust you. Like, you're a trustworthy friend. You are someone that they would never betray. Like, they really value your loyalty, and like, your friends are loyal to you too. Like, I really love to see that, because I do think some of these friends are in your orbit and they do speak up for you and translate what people misunderstand. But also, I think that your friends, like the friends that you have in your life, see you as a forever friend. Like, I don't think there is any friend that is presently in your life that doesn't see you in their life forever. Like, they like, yeah, I'm literally hearing the theme song in the Golden Girls. I mean, I don't know what the song's really called, but whatever Thank You for Being a Friend is. Like, yeah, your heart is true and you're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party and invited everyone you knew, you would see that the biggest gift would be from them, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. So, yeah, they think the world of you. I think if anything, your friends put you on a pedestal, but I think that pedestal is kind of deserved because it balances out how you might criticize yourself unfairly. So it's like, really, they're putting you on a pedestal to get you back to an even until you start seeing how wonderful you are, which I think for a lot of you do, and you've gotten there, and maybe your friends have helped, but I think you also just show your friends, like, you remind your friends what it feels like to feel good and feel happy, and I think they do the same for you. Like, I think when you're around your friends, like, that can be just the much needed source of like refreshment or rejuvenation you need in order to like feel excited about life again. Like, they just do that for you and you do that for them, and I really love to see it. Like, there's just overflowing love for you from your friends, and they would do anything for you. Like, they seriously, like, they love and adore you, and they're like, and this is the level of friendship of like, I hope that I die before you because I literally never want to live my life without you in it. Like, even if we don't talk for 2 years, I know everything's all good. Like, everything's gonna come back around. Like, our friendship is fixed. Like, time may change, other things may be cyclical, but our friendship, solid as a rock, like a planet. Okay. I also think your friendships have a lot of lore and inside jokes, and I think your friends are just commenting on that, like how that is a special component of their friendship with you specifically. But now I want to look at romantic interests and partners. You can save, like, if you have a spouse or a long-term partner or someone that you have a family with, you can save them for the last group, or you can count them for both these groups. I'm going to consider romantic interests, partners, past and present. If you're polyamorous, multiple partners, make this work for you. Just take the messages that resonate. So when it comes to those romantically interested in pile 4, those that pile 4 is romantically interested in, those romantic partners, past and present, how do they see group number 4, please? Okay, we have the 9 of Wands. They see. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We have the High Priestess in reverse. And finally, we have the 8 of Wands. Have you ghosted a lot of people? Or have a lot of people ghosted you? Maybe both. And if you're about to come in here and say, a lot of people have ghosted me, I feel like you've ghosted people. You might have not called it ghosting. You might have just forgotten to say, oh yeah, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore. But I do think you've done some ghosting in your life as well. These are definitely past partners, or if this is a current partner, if you are currently in a partnership with someone and you guys are having an argument right now, or had a conflict recently, this partner is seeing that they probably took out some sort of frustration at their own misfortune, or frustration at their own circumstances, and projected it onto you in a way where maybe you saw some sort of truth they didn't want to see, or that really upset them, or maybe they just didn't even realize they were projecting onto you. I'm sure you'll be hearing from them as soon as tonight about working things out, because like I feel like they're seeing like they do need to reach out and like clarify things and apologize, especially if you've got a wall up towards them right now. They could definitely see that. But at the same time though, if this is the type of person that isn't willing to take accountability or self-reflect or be aware, they're gonna hightail it out of there real fast. You might not really hear from them much more if they're the type of person that doesn't take accountability and that is super immature. I think past romantic partners see you as guarded, and actually current romantic partners see you as guarded. There might be someone in your life that you met recently. If there's someone romantically interested in you, they might be going through a rough time, or maybe you're going through a rough time. Also, I feel like they could see that you're pretty disconnected from your own intuition at this time, or they might feel like you're hiding something. Like the fact that you have walls up and are being protective of yourself, they might worry that like there's something really bad that you're hiding, or there's something unfortunate that could happen. But I think this is a lot of past people understanding why you've either turned your back on them or why you have your walls up around them. I feel like there's one ex or one like situationship where they really dragged you down with them, and you were kind of their punching bag for their own misfortunes. And I think you were younger during this time. You were younger, you were naive. They were either older than you, or there was some sort of power dynamic where, like, you know, let's say like you were in their country, so, you know, you didn't have the same like legal protections that they did, or you didn't have the same family support system that they did. Like, I think that there are things that were hidden from you. And I don't think that, especially if this is someone from your past, especially if you're no longer involved with them, I don't think they ever plan on acknowledging what they did, even though they know the truth of what they did, because they keep doing it to other people as well. And they just keep moving forward, acting very recklessly. But if there's anyone in your life presently that you're developing a solid relationship with, or if you're in a new partnership, especially if your partner is really struggling right now or having a hard time in life, is just experiencing misfortune, I think they see you as a reason to keep going, and the reason why they can keep moving forward even when things are so hard. Like, because I do feel like there's a level of exhaustion where if there's someone presently in your life that you're in a relationship with, they could see that either you're dealing with a lot right now, or they can recognize your patience in allowing them to work through their own stuff. But I feel like they're very passionate about a future with you, and very passionate about how things could move forward with you. Like, I think they're really excited and motivated, and they really just want the wheel to keep spinning so that they can be in a more fortunate place. I also think, though, that they feel like they can't hide anything from you. Like, you have this really uncanny ability to tap into how they're feeling and what's going on with them, and they don't always like that. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but I don't think they take it personally or anything like that. I think it's just, it's a level of vulnerability that I think they're not used to. But I also think as well, they feel like you might have some disconnection from yourself, where maybe you just don't trust yourself or trust your skills or trust your ability to navigate things. But they see that you're capable of doing so. I think romantic interest in general, though, I do think, like, once again, that assumption that you're doing better than them, or that you are better than them, or that you see they're like the horrible truth of them, like, I think you're intuitive, but I think people project this idea like you see them through the negative lens that they see themselves in, where it's really they're just creating self-fulfilling prophecies. But I see a lot of I see past romantic interests being kind of avoidant of you in general, because they don't want to face any wrongdoing, or like embarrassing past behaviors, especially if there's someone from your past that is spiritual now. Unless you're my ex-boyfriend watching this, because even though I am spiritual, I do not regret anything that I did there, and I know full well I was in my rights to do what I needed to do. So, not that I think he would ever be watching this. He doesn't even fit this description. I just need to state on the record. I'm like, no, nah. I could see you taking that interpretation and believing you have validity for it, and you do not. You do not. Because sometimes, okay, I got distracted. Apologies. Talk about projecting, right? I'm doing it the same way these people are doing it. I do feel like there is just this tendency with romantic interests in general to be so afraid of the worst happening that they're afraid of getting serious, or they run away, because there's a lot of attraction towards you. But I think that because you're kind of hard to read, and you're not the most emotionally expressive person, which, like, I would say all your past partners feel like your emotional body is like a well of secrets, which is interesting because with your friends you're very open and available. So maybe for some of you you're just asexual, and so you're like, so get with the message, like, I don't have romantic interests in partners and I'm unavailable to them, and it kind of sucks for them, and I see it and it makes sense. Shout out to my ace friends that may be here. But I do think that there's a level of, like, I feel like romantic interests see you as a bit emotionally unavailable, or struggle to be emotionally available with you because they're afraid of being seen. You might, like, even attract, or maybe in your past you attracted, like, certain types of people that had just like that had truths that they needed to see that they weren't seeing on their own, and that you play a role in being like a mirror, and like showing, like holding up a mirror to certain patterns. But once again, I feel like there have been people that have seen you as a way that their life will get better, but it's almost like they can't handle a bitch as bad as you. And bitch is gender neutral, by the way. We're all bad bitches here. Like, if you are watching this video, you are a bad bitch. Name it and claim it in my comments below. Let me know you're in Pal 4. I love to see my bad bitches. I am really pushing it. I pray to sweet baby Jesus that Daddy YouTube doesn't get too mad at me. My corporate overlords. Anyway. I think that romantic interests, especially past ones, they don't look on their time with you fondly. And you're probably like, yeah, I would believe that because they acted a fool. And I would say back to you, group 4, I believe that. But I also think, like, people have hidden things from you. Okay, this is what I was feeling. I feel like you've attracted people that you know how like cheaters are always accusing other people of cheating because they're cheating? I feel like because you are someone who does like is just kind of more private in general, and like it's not like you're hiding things from people, you just don't openly offer a ton. And I think for people who like it when people overshare because they use that information to their benefit, they can't do that with you. And so with the gaps in their understanding of how you operate, they fill in the blanks with their own insecurities. And so then they might be quick to judge you, or quick to end things, or quick to ghost because they're afraid that their fears will become real. So it's almost like they're cutting you off before their fears come true. And the thing that I was saying specifically about someone being spiritual, now that, you know, really did you dirty. And I guess to be fair, I didn't do my ex dirty. He thought I did him dirty because I couldn't have like my soul sucked out of my body anymore. Like that's, I don't know, like I guess it's only a tower moment if you're not aware of the many, many times I communicated and felt not treated well, and had boundaries ignored. But I do believe that you maybe you and I have similar experiences where you've had partners really victimize themselves when you set boundaries and go your own way, because they can no longer abuse and manipulate you the way that they could when you were with them. And so instead they manipulate everyone around them and are like, oh my gosh, they were so awful. Like I could definitely see people lying about you and like acting like you were some monster when really the monstrous thing you did was just, let's not do this anymore. Like, yeah, you are a monster because you didn't let them perpetuate their own crap. But I do think that now past romantic partners see you as someone who's very guarded. And I think past romantic partners like don't like to see the past when it comes to you, because I think that there's like a lot of embarrassment that comes to mind, because I think a lot of people have just acted a fool around you, because like I don't even think you realize these people wanted clarity. Are these things still in the, yes, okay, in the frame. But I think that people see you as quick to move on too. And I think that's, once again, is just because you're somebody who's like, oh, you don't want to talk to me anymore? Like, okay, I'm not going to talk to you. Like, even if you want to talk to that person so badly, you're not going to, because they said they didn't want to talk to you. Like, you're somebody where it's like, oh, you want me to go away? Okay, I will. Like, you just don't play that game, which, like, thank God. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Because I'm a big proponent of we should all just say how we feel and say what we mean and mean what we say. And just be straightforward and transparent. Like, don't expect someone to read your mind when you tell them, oh, don't talk to me. If you want someone to fight for you, say, hey, I want attention, and so I'm afraid that I'm not wanted, so I'm trying to push you away right now to see if you'll fight for me or if you'll abandon me like everyone else. But you probably don't realize that. The ones that would say that probably don't realize that, which is why they're doing the behavior. But I think that sort of thing could be really helpful. Like my little tiny niece, I don't know why I'm telling you guys so much stuff, but sometimes, and I see it right before it happens, sometimes she just wants attention, and so sometimes she falls on purpose. And she doesn't even do a very good job at it. She'll just like slowly go to the ground and be like, ow, and so I'll just look at her and I'll be like, do you want attention? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, come here. Like, I know what she wants. And she's my little Sag Moon, Cancer Sun drama queen. I love her. Just like her auntie. But I'm hoping that if I ask her enough, if she just wants attention, she'll just start asking for that instead of feeling like she needs to pretend to be hurt in order to have the focus on her. Well, she's also like 3, so, I mean, you know, give her brain time to develop, but I think it's really cute and sweet. Though any past romantic partners you may have dealt with, I do not think their behavior was cute or sweet. And I think they were intentionally not saying what they wanted because either they didn't want to admit it to themselves, or being honest about that would just reveal their levels of entitlement, and in their mind they're a good person. So yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move on to those closest to you, or those that were once closest to you. So this can be chosen family, biological family, just the people you live with, or the people that are around you the most. Closeness in terms of connection or closeness in terms of proximity, it's up to you. I'm definitely very curious though. Like, I wonder if for a lot of you, if you do have a romantic partner, it's going to come out here. Or maybe you just know how your partner sees you and that's enough. Or maybe you just don't have a partner yet that is worthy of loving you the way you deserve, and we're waiting for that. Maybe you don't want a partner, and that's also okay. Okay, so group fours, those closest to group four, or once closest to group four, bio fam, chosen fam. How do they see group four? Okay, yeah, so we have the Page of Cups. We have the Moon in reverse. We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Ten of Swords upright. We have the Lovers in reverse. Interesting. Oh, okay, we have the Devil on the back of the deck. So I feel like either your chosen family or your bio family, they know you've been put through it. But if your family is part of the reason you were put through it in life, I feel like there's a lot of sadness around what they can't go back and change. Actually, specifically, there could be a sibling that you had a falling out with, or a sibling that really hurt or betrayed you. And I think they're really, not only do they miss you, but I really feel like they want to apologize. Like, on a family level though, like on a general level of all of these people, if you grew up with your parents or grew up with your parental figures or guardians being in a relationship, I feel like that relationship could have been very traumatic or toxic in ways that informed how you see relationships. And I think there's sadness in one or both of your parents or guardian figures, because I could definitely see for one of them it's there. For the other, it may not be there. And if it's not there, it's because they're so self-involved. They're just really not able to feel into anyone else's experience. And they're probably just really not doing well in life, or they may not even be on the planet anymore. But I do think there's a lot of awareness and reflection from one of the people who raised you that, man, if they could do it differently, they would. And I'm sure they've apologized to you, or they want to apologize to you. I think there's this reflection and this sadness because you as a child were very like emotionally open and bubbly and like joyful and effervescent. Like your silliness, your goofiness, your playfulness, your creativity, your sense of whimsy. I don't think your family's seen that from you in a really, really, really long time. And it's possible that some of how you were raised is partially responsible for creating that disconnect. So there could be a lot of grief in realizing, like, I wished away a part of group 4 that makes them very special, and now I would give anything to see them tap back into it. And they could have this very like personal judgment towards themselves about like, how could I have done that to them? How could I have done that? Like, I feel like it is very heartbreaking to them because they can't fix it specifically, and they didn't know. Like with the moon being in reverse here, it's like they didn't realize how misguided their treatment of you was. And now that they see the truth, it's like, I can't go back and change it, and I don't know how to heal from this because I don't know if I can even forgive myself. Like, I think that they're almost kind of desperate to see this part of you come back to life, just to know that they didn't permanently kill it. I also think, though, there's some feelings of personal responsibility towards how your own relationships have turned out based on your family. Like, I think that your like, especially one parent who raised you, or one guardian who raised you, they feel like they didn't model healthy relationships, or they really regret the relationships they had because they realize how they modeled unhealthy patterns of behavior. I think there's really just a lot of clarity around the fact that they judged what they didn't understand and tried to do the best that they could, but their best was not enough, it seems, at least in their mind. You might think it was enough, you might recognize it wasn't personal, or you might think it's not enough, whatever, wherever you're at with it, but is totally valid and understandable. But I do think that the family around you really feels sad about just the ways they didn't attune to your needs, that if they had, maybe things would have been a bit easier for you, and that you wouldn't have had to do so much healing work or so much to kind of correct or protect yourself. I also think you could have a family member, especially if this family member was a workaholic, that's either passed on or that's not able to see you regularly. And I think they could be very sad over the fact that they didn't connect with you more when you were a kid, because they were working. They also could have been like dealing with substances. They could have really been in their own world. They could have been dealing with mental health issues or substance abuse issues. And as a result, it's like the love was there, but they weren't able to show it and give it or tune into you the way that they in their heart wanted to, because they were just not, they weren't well. They were deeply unwell. And I feel like, you know, for some of you, if this person has passed on, like, they want you to know how sorry they are, and that if they could go back, they would do it in a heartbeat. Their human body was really hard to be in, but but they acknowledge it was no excuse to neglect you. And it wasn't intentional, and it wasn't because they thought there was something wrong with you or they weren't proud of you or anything like that. They were so proud of you. They were ashamed of themselves is really what was happening. But speaking of being ashamed of themselves, actually, I think that there's someone who was part of who I think you felt a soul connection to, who was part of your chosen family. This was either a really deep friend, a really close friend, or a really close partner. Maybe the lines were a bit blurred there, or maybe this was just a really close, like, felt like soulmate kind of friendship that was like, oh, this feels like a brother or a sister rather than just a friend. If that person screwed you over and really hurt you, I feel like they're still grieving even if it happened years ago. In fact, the grief only gets worse. I feel like they realize how whatever they did to end things, I feel like they either accused you of something that wasn't true. Like, once again, like, people projecting shit onto you that isn't the truth. Like, people projecting their fears onto you, people being deluded by the fears of others. This person realizes they destroyed a friendship over their own insecurities, illusions, and issues. They could have even listened to a toxic person in their own life about things that weren't true. And they know that they ended your friendship, and I think they feel horrible about it. I feel like they also realize too how they could have been competitive with you or like jealous of you in some way, or could have felt like you were better than them. And so they could have taken this opportunity to end things. And this opportunity, I think they created and conjured by just projecting random nonsense onto you until it stuck. Although there could have been someone else around them that was like maybe more toxic, like especially if it was a partner of some kind that could have been saying things about you in order to isolate them from you. They're definitely not in that situation anymore. And I do think they realize how unfair they were to you, and I think they're really heartbroken, and once again, they can't fix it, and they wish they could, and I do think there's a part of them that's sorry, but I don't know if they would ever tell you that because they feel like it's just, I think that it's already hard enough to know that they messed this up. They don't want to know, too, that it's beyond repair, whether it is or it isn't. And I think the fact that they are unwilling to, or they're afraid to see if it's beyond repair is probably a sign that that's someone to be cautious of, unless they do come around and are genuinely apologetic and seem like they've changed. I mean, obviously, of course, do what you want. I feel like you can open up, but I do think that there could be someone who realized they were severely delusional and really betrayed you or backstabbed you, and know that they didn't just break their own heart, they broke theirs too. I think it was just, it took them a bit longer to realize that, because the things that were feeding their delusions, the things that were feeding their ideas about what was going on with you, those were the toxic sources, and they had to have that toxicity revealed to them, and also like the toxicity within them revealed, in order for them to start seeing the truth. And I think the truth has been really hard and really painful. I think they've been doing things to avoid it, but if you still carry guilt or feel like you truly did something wrong, know that you didn't. And any retaliation or like betrayal things that they did, not only do they really regret them, but like I think they're too ashamed of themselves to even face you, which I'm like, that's really convenient, actually, you know, to not have to take accountability. But if they were really truly ashamed, I think they would tell you. But sometimes we don't have the strength of character to take accountability for our mistakes, and it is what it is. And I do think that's probably where this person is at, if they're like chosen, quote, chosen family or something like that. Ultimately, though, I do think like all of your family sees you as someone who has really been through it and gone through some really hard times. And I think there's just fear in you giving up, or fear in you not seeing or not receiving the light and love in your life that you deserve. And I think your family is really just hoping and praying for heart healing, especially if there's healing that needs to be done within your family. I feel like there's prayer for that to happen, and I think there's also prayer just for your own heart healing if there's no like healing of family issues. But I do think as well, like your family worries about work with you. Like I wonder if when things get really bad, it's really hard for you to be consistent or like have a routine, or you might escape into work or things like that. But I don't think like your family judges you at all. I feel like if anything, your family is just really grateful for when you're happy and feeling good, because they can share that with you. But I think especially for bio family, there's a lot of sadness and regret in the ways in which they didn't cherish the parts of you they didn't know they would lose, in their raising of you, and in their and just within your human experience and the things that you've had to endure. I feel like there's just a lot of we're sorry energy around you when it comes to the people close to you. So no wonder your friends see you so highly and love and adore you and are just so ride or die for you, because it definitely seems like in a lot of other ways close connections have disappointed you or hurt you, and it seems like you haven't gotten a lot of clarity on those situations, especially because it's like you don't have really anyone outside of you to validate what you're experiencing, and you don't even know if what you're seeing is real or true. Which is ironic, because the ones that are projecting illusions on you, they're the ones convinced it's truth. But I think more than anything, those closest to you want to see you healed and happy, and unless they feel like you would never allow them back into their life, which I think they would understand but still feel very sad and be sorry about. I definitely think your family wants to see you healed and happy, and wants the dynamics between or chosen family to be healed and happy. I don't think that there's any there's no genuine malintent, but there definitely is like human imbalance when it comes to like the mismatch between approach and behavior versus actual feeling and intention. Like, I think that the feelings and intentions behind what a lot of the people closest to you have are good, but I don't think that the way that they act on them is always good or positive or helpful, and or even, you know, showing up in your zone of awareness. So it's really understandable whatever stories you have or whatever you believe about them to be true might as well be the truth, because if they're not going to clarify it, how are you going to get clarity besides watching me? But if I am giving you clarity, you should leave me a like. I would really appreciate that. But ultimately, I do think that your family sees you as someone who is a survivor. Yeah, like I'm hearing that. Is it Destiny's Child or Beyonce? I think it's Beyonce, just Beyonce. That Beyonce song, Survivor. Like, I feel like that's you. But I feel like the one thing that I think either your chosen family, your bio family, or both, one thing they would give anything for is to just see lightness in your spirit again, in a way where you just feel like the levity and playfulness and goofiness that you used to embody when there wasn't so much sitting on your spirit. And let me be clear, I think you'll get back there at some point, but you're in a process right now, and it would be unfair to wish away that, like, your family wishes that that process would go away because they want to see you light and happy again. But what they have to understand is that, number one, light and happiness can absolutely coexist with density and pain, but also the return to getting to a place of more lightheartedness and joy is through processing the dense, heavy stuff, and that's what you're doing. And so if you have family members that avoid that or don't know how to heal that stuff, they could just be feeling like, they could just be worried things are hopeless and you'll always be in this place. And the thing is you're not even in a bad place. You're just in a tough place. And the tough place that you're in, I have to be honest, I don't know if those closest to you really understand, like, how strong, like just how heavy your journey has been, because you make it look so easy. It's kind of honestly like a curse, because it's like nobody sees how hard you're working and what you're enduring and undergoing, and everyone just assumes things are lighter and easier than they really are because you make it look easy. You make it look like you're fine. It's just not everyone is very good at reading into others, and you are particularly hard to read. So what people see about you is usually whatever lens they're looking at the world through to begin with. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this reading off with how the beings in the spirit realm or in heaven or whatever you define it as, how they see you and what guidance they have to give you. So I guess it's less like how they're seeing you in general, and more just what they see going on and what they want you to know. Hopefully the guidance is relevant. If not, feel free to discard it. Take how it resonates for you. I just wanted to finish off with a little message, since this was just more reading energy rather than guidance. So Spirit, what do you want group number 4 to know? What messages do the beings in heaven and in the ether that love group number 4 unconditionally? What guidance and advice do they have for group 4? Okay. Ooh, some of you might have a spirit horse. Like if some of you have had a horse that passed away and that's been really hard for you, I feel like the spirit of this animal is around you. So it could be like, okay, any animal that has passed on that you've really been missing or thinking about a lot, if they showed up in a dream recently, like that's them interacting with you and connecting with you. Know that they're watching over and protecting you, and they're not going anywhere. Yeah. So let's see. dearest you, we actually have a secret for you. The more you think you know, the less you actually do. So if you're willing to keep an open mind, you will avoid the narrow confines of the know-it-all and open up to the unlimited potential that can be discovered only by the curious optimist. Curiosity allows you to discover new things, see the world from a different perspective, and find answers to questions you might not even know you have. Right now, whatever is going on, it's important to know that you are not aware of all the aspects of it you need to see in order to make an informed choice. You might be projecting a story that isn't totally true, so maybe you do the same thing. So moving forward, your mantra could be, I don't know, or that's interesting, as you keep your mind and heart open to new experiences and a richer existence overall. All of us here want you to be all you can be. We are cheering for you. Can you hear us? Beautiful. And I think that that's really true. Like, there's a lot more to your story and a lot more to this even. I could go for hours, but I'm not going to because I want to play Pokemon on my Game Boy. So, group number 4, it's called a work-life balance, okay? Group 4. That is where I'm going to leave this reading. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That's one of the simplest and easiest ways to show support and appreciation for my channel. So thank you to everyone who does that. If you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, comment down below, let me know how it resonates, subscribe if you haven't already, be sure to click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. Check out my merch, social media, check out candles, be sure to use code ASO10 for 10% off. Sign up for my email list. If I ever open personal readings, only my email list will know. Email list gets special privileges like pictures of wildlife from my backyard, fun little freebies like spreads to try, as well as random little messages. You'll be in the know and get exclusive offers. Other things, you can hype this video, leave me a super thanks, leave me a tip, Cashapp, palehag. My email is my PayPal. You can watch other videos, ones with extended, share me with a friend, let my videos play in the background while you let the ads go, and just put it on mute. You really are the real MVP if you do that. I love you for that. But yeah, I think that's it. So, or you could just send me love. I'm sending you some right back. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this reading brought you some clarity or helped. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!